analysis will tell you where the predator is located. If the predator is behind you, you will feel the hair.
Oh, we're safe. I got a good rifle in the house, like a semi-automatic.
The judge is in there.
That's coming from up there now.
Hello, everyone.
Good evening, everybody.
We're very glad that you are here. We'll give everybody a few minutes to get in here in the chat, and we'll start by our verse for tonight is 1 Peter 5:8. Okay, 1 Peter 5:8. Be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. Other versions say, be sober, be vigilant, be serious, be observant. That's what all that means. Be aware of your surroundings at all times for the enemy. And that's the topic of our show tonight, early detection of predators and the different ways, their patterns. All right. Okay, we'll pray Say our prayer for the night. Lord, we honor you. We thank you for covering our channel in your protection. We thank you for your guidance. We thank you for the mission that you've given us. We appreciate that you've given us this platform, and we do take it seriously, Lord. We ask your covering over all those who view. We ask that you will give us the proper words to convey the things that you wish us to convey, and that you will give people the eyes to see and the ears to hear for those that you feel need this message. We pray that anybody that doesn't know you, if we could be a part of them getting to know you and developing a relationship with you, then we would be proud to do that. In Jesus' name, amen. We're glad you guys are here. We have 3 Facebook pages: Oklahoma Bigfoot Predator Watch, Antlers and Surrounding Areas, the Choctaw Missing and Murdered Woman, WOMBMAN, and Sun Center and Database, and the Lead Tracker E Facebook page. And we invite you to join all of those pages. They each have different purposes. And then for YouTube channels, we have this channel. We invite you to like and subscribe here. Set your notification buttons, and you know how it goes. Double check. Make sure from time to time that you're still subscribed. And we also have the Lead Tracker E channel, and the 2 channels go together. So we invite you to join both. Our P.O. Box is 655 Antlers, Oklahoma, 74523.
Our Bigfoot documentary. Let me go ahead and put that. But our Bigfoot documentary is called Predator. Oklahoma Bigfoot Predator Watch, Antlers and Surrounding Areas. That's $101. That is a Bigfoot documentary that we and some trackers have put together to show you the traps, the locations of these traps, what to look for, and also we capture some Bigfoots with some photos and some video. We got some Bigfoots in that video. Also, our new book, Predator, Bigfoot, and the Spiritual Warrior's Path. That is out in ebook, pre-order right now. The description, or how to link that to, is in the description, also in the comments. The book just came out, or it will officially be out on September 3rd through ebook, and possibly the paperback will be out on the same day, and that's through Amazon. If you haven't got that book yet, you really need to get that. And we want to work something out with the people who did get the PDF form. Also, the book is also being translated in Spanish, but it's not out yet. But as soon as we get that done, we're gonna have that up also, and hopefully that won't be too long. But we're not gonna pressure our translator. They're doing the best that they can with the time that they have. So we do appreciate the translation for the book. It is very important. Our Cash App, our PayPal, and to support this channel and to help us get from place to place and, point A to point B. We do a lot of scouting and go to certain places where people have disturbances or just need a little support or a little information. We do all that freely and with our own funds. So any support is greatly appreciated. Also, if you're having problems on our YouTube channel, at 728 Jerry Williams, and I'm not, where's yours?
Oh, I don't remember. We never say mine. It's in the description.
Yeah, it's in the description below. But also go back to the channel and look up Tracking and Deterrence 101 for homeowners. There's a trailer and a 3-hour, 3.5, probably about a 3.5-hour movie or a film that we made. It's a place where we got to go in. No one's ever did any deterrence in this area. There was no disturbance calls, no police out there, no paper trail, I guess you would say. But the homeowners knew that they had some activity there because they've had it before in a different area. But if you go back and watch the entire video, we'll show you how we start in new places. And this was the place that we hadn't been and nobody had been. So we got to do our work there from scratch. And you'll get to see that. And if you haven't seen that, please go watch that. Also, if you're having disturbances, you really need to watch that. Also, I believe on both of our channels, we do have the spiritual house cleaning, cleansing with Lee Tracker E and Jerry Williams. Use that. That technique is how we clean houses spiritually. We don't want to miss any spots because these spiritual predators, translucent shadow people, some are big, some are very small, very crafty, and will hide in the places that you least expect or where you can least get to. So check out the spiritual house cleansing with Lee Tracker E and Jerry Williams on YouTube also. This is not an open forum channel. What I mean by that is this is a teaching, sharing of information, and a place for interviews to help people with problems right now. We don't tell stories here, and it's appropriate for the matter. But we teach here. It's not an open forum. We do ask that our friends and our trackers and our regular viewers, please, if you can, keep an eye on the comments. We will answer the questions pertaining to the topic or the subject of the night at the end of the stream. So if you can, save your questions for then, and we'll get to those. Next, we're going to, our lead tracker, he always does the comments, and then we'll begin with the lesson. And after that, then we'll take the comments and the questions, answer those, and then we'll get ready for the next one.
And we encourage you to take notes so that you can just keep up and you won't forget what you had a question about at the end. And if you'll just put the questions at the end in all caps, it makes it easier for us to see. I'm going to run through on here. I'm not going to read every post, but I'm going to shout out to everybody that's here. We got a good group already. Henry's here. Junior's
Right, Henry,
here.
Junior.
Linda's here.
Linda.
Let's see. Tracker C.
Tracker C's here.
Scott's here.
Scott's here.
He pre-ordered his.
All right, Scott.
Danette is here.
Danette. All right, Danette. All right.
Everyone's greeting each other. Mary's here.
All right. Wow.
Good group already. Tennessee's here.
Tennessee, Kentucky.
Nathan is here. Okay.
Nathan. All right, Nathan.
Darcy's here.
Darcy. Wow.
And great group of people. Harper's here.
Harper.
And there we go. Tracker
right.
C says he got his on PDF.
All right.
Yes, and he wrote us a great review too. And we appreciate the reviews that
Yeah,
we've already got very much.
All those reviews are on the back of the book also.
Yeah. We got a lot tonight. We're talking about early deterrence or early detection of predator.
Yeah, did you have that list?
Bigfoots. Which one? We were starting. and the similarities between the different types of predators from, which one are you looking for?
They had early detection with full list on
That was it, right here.
this kind of paper. Oh, okay, okay. So today we're talking about early detection of the predator Bigfoot, things to look out for, that your family needs to look out for, things that you can teach and help your family that way. If they don't know certain things, we're going to show you some pictures of what things look like, so you'll have that understanding. One of our trackers just or has been noticing a pull down that's across from her way, from her front door, I believe. And we may have a picture that may look something like what she's talking about. So when we're talking about early detection of predator Bigfoots, we're always talking about spirituality and your feelings. Can you flash my address?
Sure, I'll stick it in here.
Okay. And what it is?
Yep.
Okay. But when we're talking about using our feelings, we have to use everything around us to help us. And this is, anytime we go out, we use these techniques, and we think about these things often out there. For one, the moon, you know, we look at the cycles of the moon, and that helps us to determine what kind of creatures or the size of the creatures that we're going to be seeing, or what we're going to be looking for anyway. But when you got a small new moon or to a crescent moon, a third quarter to a crescent new moon, that is the time when all the predators come out, big, small, every size that you can think of, every configuration, because there is no light at that time, so there's no visibility or no good visibility. I hope that's what you're talking about, Harper. I don't know but if you're looking for the link to the book, if you scroll up to the very first comment, there is a number.
I think it is a P.O. box because they asked it a couple of days ago.
Oh, okay, okay.
And thank you, Harper.
Yes, Harper. But we also need to, why would we be getting money here? Why would we need the address?
Well, I didn't know what they need it for. Maybe they're just mailing it, not ordering it through online.
Harper, you're going to have to order that through online. We have a PDF, but it would be better if you got either the Kindle or the book. And the book will be out in about 2 or 3 days.
And so they would mail directly from them. You would get a hold of them.
Yeah, you would get a hold of Amazon. We have the PDF, but that was a pre-sale until we got everything up.
Yeah, that's not the best way.
No, so it's better that if you order the book in about 2 or 3 days, it should be out. But also, you can pre-order. I think the ebooks right now, but also the paperback should be out in about 3 days, I believe. But we look at the moon cycles for the different types of predators that would be out. With the small light, like the crescent moon to the half moon, you're going to have smaller predators or bigger ones that are on all fours. Around the half moon or a quarter moon to the third quarter moon, that time, you're going to have 10 to 15 foot Bigfoots out there. The walking wolves, they're all 7, 8 foot. They'll be out about that time also. But don't expect the big ones, the 20 footers, 35 footers, not until like after the third quarter when it's getting darker. But the new moon, they'll really be out. Also during the new moon, the full moons, the blood moons, the blue moons, the super moons, all these Bigfoots, they get together and they have a big feast in the forest. So look and expect even the birds to not be in your area at that time. Another time to expect Bigfoots for early detection is during the weather, during the storms, during the hurricanes, the tornadoes, even the electrical, the thunderstorms, the lightning storms. Anything that causes destruction, expect predator Bigfoots and hybrids to be there. That's a perfect opportunity because so many people come up missing. Things are scattered, things are blown, people are swept down rivers. So it's a good time to collect food, collect people at that time. So there are some other channels that talk about Bigfoot habits and things, and the guys who will tell you that the Bigfoots won't be out during the water time or when it's raining, they have no clue to what they're talking about. And I've heard some of them talk about how we probably won't see any because it's raining, that they'll be indoors. But they're not humans, they're predators, and they hunt every day. Weather, snow, sleet, lightning, everything. They love storms because that's perfect opportunity for some easy prey. Also with the storms, with the birds. If there's a storm in your area, say 50 miles from you, watch those crows, watch those ravens, watch those blue jays, because they'll all start flying towards that storm. They won't go into that storm, but they'll wait for it. They'll watch it and they'll collect anything from squirrels to people. Anything that can come up missing, they're going to take. Your property. Whenever you come out of your home, if you watch that film that we did, Tracking the Deterrence 101 for Homeowners, you'll see that we were laying track traps, different kind of track traps also. But those track traps are what we used for early detection or to find out what is already in the area. We look for skirting, we look for structures, we look for dark areas and trap areas. But the crows, there is a predator sequence that Bigfoots use and follow, and the birds have their own sequence. And if you're paying attention, you'll see this. The robin and the blue jay will show up, and then the woodpecker. After the woodpecker, you'll get the crows, and then you'll get the ravens, and then after that, you get the Bigfoots. At nighttime, you'll get the owls and the wolves, and then you'll get the Bigfoots. Always remember that those birds are early detection. If a raven has perched up and is calling on you, make sure you look at that raven and stare at it. Once it realizes that you're not food and that you're looking at it, it will leave. It gets nervous. It doesn't want to be around. It doesn't want to be exposed. The same thing with a flock of crows. If they're flying over you, if there's a whole flock of crows, all you have to do is look at one crow, find one crow, and keep your eye on it. Don't take your eye off that one crow. No matter what's going on, keep your eye on that one crow. Just like a raven, just like an owl. that the entire group of crows will fly away if you're looking at one of them. If you're looking at all of them and not paying attention, they'll stay there. You also have to look at those crows and ravens until they are completely out of sight. As soon as you turn your back, they're going to turn around. Also, look for them, even as far as they are, they're going to get behind a tree. And while they're flying back and forth, checking to see if you're still paying attention, they're going to be right at the edge of those trees. And if you watch for them, you'll see them. And they'll perk back up to try to see if you're looking or not. Let's see. And if you are new to the channel, we will be doing the comments at the end. So when you're looking around the house, use those crows, use those ravens, use the birds, use the animals. If you don't have a lot of animals in your area, look for the snakes. If you don't have a lot of snakes in your area and you used to, these are early detection warnings. If you had a lot of wildlife like hogs and squirrels, rabbits, if they're gone also, even the domesticated, what they call homeless pets, or the strays is what I mean. If those strays are gone, if your squirrels are gone, if your birds are gone, because they do eat birds, they do trap birds in trees, they do go and rob the nest. But use those birds, look around you. Even if you're in the cities, look for, if you have a homeless population, pay attention to that also. These Bigfoots do hunt in cities. They do eat people. They are around dumpsters and any kind of food area, so pay attention to that. Now, around your home, you're going to see, if you see these things, from your home, look out your back window, look out your back door, look at your front door. Look at any kind of area to where you would be coming up, to where a neighbor would be coming up, to where animals would come up, and find those areas, because those will be strategic areas to where these predators can view the entire area without being seen. I'm going to show you a few things real fast. As far as these predator Bigfoots will also lay in trees sideways, and look for those sturdy parts where the trees start to branch out. That's a sturdy area. They also pull down the limbs to use for blinds. They'll lay in the tree sideways so that you don't see them. But this is around your home. Look for it this way. Also, they'll get between the trees. They'll dig their claws into the tree as a lineman would, or a lumberjack would. If you can see in this drawing here, the feet or the claws are stuck into the tree. Always look for those shadows. Now here's a picture from a friend who sent this picture in. And actually we went over to his home to track with him. have a little difficulty with our phone tab. Let me get this worked out real fast. This is actually one that's in a tree. That's a very big tree at about 200-yard distance. You have to bear with us for a second here. This computer's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. See if we get it to work here.
While we wait for that to load.
But they will be in the trees also. The tracker has got some words. Let me get this off.
I don't know, it's no big deal. If there was gonna be dead space, I was just gonna say hi to Unknown, Lisa Lou, Jeremy, and Scarborough, who are all in the room with us now.
Oh, wow. As you can see, our phone is not working appropriately, so we may not have too many photos up tonight. This is an old phone. Maybe we can use yours.
Okay.
We're going to try to switch phones real fast. Give us just a second. You're going to hear a high-pitched noise because both these phones are going to be on for a second. But I can't even get this to work.
Give us just a second. Talk amongst yourselves.
As we get this other one up, we're going to have to get these, we'll be able to get these pictures up. Hey, that one went off. Can you get in? Okay, we're going to close this one. That was going to be straight up.
Bear with us.
Okay.
There we go.
So what we're doing is going to a solo layout. The other one's still up. So I want to show you also these again real fast. This one's going to work better. So these Bigfoots will lay up in the tree sideways. We're going to look for that around your homes. Birds are an early detection. They will also get between the trees and dig in. And if they're dark colored, you're not going to see them either. They're going to look just like that tree. So be very wary about that. You can look for them as shadows in the trees. This tree is about 500 yards out. But they use these trees for blinds and pull downs. Here's a double pull down. Lead tracker E is about 5'7",
5'8".
5'8". So we want to make sure I said 5'8".
5'8".
5'8". But also these pull downs.
My good posture height is 5'8".
Yeah. Used for blinds and traps. You'll find these. If you find these anywhere, talk to your parents about them. If you're a parent and you find these, give us a call. Let us know what's going on. Maybe talk to your neighbors about what's going on. Look for those blinds in the forest around your homes. But these Bigfoots will also sit back in the distance. And I hope you can see this, but in the distance, that's a home, way in the distance. These Bigfoots will sit and build some blinds, have a couple of trees or different things in between both of y'all for a lot of blinds, and they will sit back there. Here's an example of a blind just like that. I mean, that one, this first one is an actual replica of a blind watching the home of where we were at. Here's another blind that if you look past and in the distance, there's a home. These Bigfoots here had built some blinds up, and they had been harassing the homeowner
and the grandchildren.
2 times that we know of for sure, and that is also in the documentary because we did track that land there also. But
we found footprints leading to the grandchild's window where they stayed.
Yeah, footprints leading up to the house, back ways in, blinds where they could watch this home from that area. We also, in another area, now this blind right here, this pull down here is across from a church and a small neighborhood. It's one of the biggest ones we've seen in that area. That place is actually called Green Hill Monster Road. It's known for cryptid activity, Bigfoots, serpent looking with a serpent body and a beak head that wraps around trees and goes up. A friend was trying to shoot it with a 22. He knows to get bigger bullets now, but at that time he was shooting with a 22. He couldn't hit it, and it was just wrapping around a tree till I got up there and was watching him or looking at him.
3-toed creatures, 6-toed creatures. There's been one out there with a big barrel belly, but super skinny legs like a chicken, but monster height. You know, some of the most insane things. And that blind is now covered in foliage. So when we tell you guys to get out there and look for the blinds, we're talking about structures like that. After the leaves fall off of them, find those, get rid of them. And when in the spring, when you see them, get rid of them so before the foliage covers it up, or you won't see it at all. And all they need is a little peeking hole. Some other early signs. This is list we made earlier. When trash is spread around or disappears. It's not the local dogs. You don't really know. We've seen that in a Choctaw neighborhood. The residents were being blamed, but it was the Bigfoot that were getting into the trash that was put out in the mornings. The trash was part of the rent, so the people had no need to not put their trash out or to drag it into the woods. These were the Bigfoot predators that were taking the trash, and then not only did it put the people more in danger, but it also, the people got in trouble and got written up for having their trash strewn around, and it was not even their fault. Small pets or small wildlife will start disappearing. There will be livestock attacks. Wildlife starts hanging out really close to the house. The deer, we have one situation where the Choctaw elder has lost 8 out of 12 horses so far. That was a month ago. There may be more by now, but to the predator Bigfoots. And an instance of the wildlife is a deer up his stairs onto his front porch trying to get in his door. The wildlife will come too close. They shouldn't be that close up to us unless there's something more frightening than us out in the woods. So watch for that. Or the wildlife will disappear. That's the last stage. They disappear altogether. They may leave, the Bigfoots will leave a couple around just to give a sense of normality. But if you're really paying attention, you'll notice that all the others are gone. Items may move or disappear altogether. You might leave tools and then they're gone. They're somewhere else, or lawn tools or something like that. Or they may appear, just strange items appearing. Those are also.
And they may appear on your house. They may appear, you may find your rake, like some people find on their house, their roof, or in
strange
trees.
Things, yeah, things moving around, right. Pets disappear or die, and you don't know why. Or maybe you do, but you don't know what caused it. It could be a sign of the big predator Bigfoot or hybrids around. Kids or adults disappear. You start hearing about a lot of runaways, or just keep your eye on those, the missing posters, whether it's pets or people. Pay attention to those. Don't just start noticing patterns. Look for patterns. The best trackers recognize patterns. The best spiritual warfares recognize patterns. You have a feeling of being watched. Everybody recognizes that feeling. You can be in a supermarket somewhere and you just get that feeling and you turn around and look. Sure enough, somebody's staring at you. Pay attention to that, because the predator may be nearby. And the predator may be spiritual, Bigfoot related, or human. Noises, bangs, rocks hitting the house, different things like that, unusual noises.
But anytime you hear rocks or noises or something, don't take that lightly. Don't think it's a game.
Don't blow it off.
Don't blow it off, and don't think that something's trying to communicate with you to be your friend. It's trying to lure you out.
Yeah, they never tried to be your friend. And we've seen researchers that put up memes and make jokes about the Bigfoots throwing rocks at their camp, and they get excited, and that's so wonderful. Well, it will backfire someday.
And when you know that that's a predator and you're this close to a huge man-eating predator,
yeah, it's not a joke.
It's not a joke. And we knew some people who would use the women products.
And the women volunteer.
And women volunteer.
I think it's funny,
Just don't understand that.
They're not at best.
And that predator will eat you.
And these predators we're talking about will rape and eat you, and do it simultaneously if they take a notion to.
Male and female.
Yeah, and more than one attacking at the same time. It's just that serious.
Don't think you're going to be fighting just one of them.
So one of the early signs, you'll see barriers across a road broken off, or a trail, like a ATV trail, something like that. There will be broken off small trees, no top or bottom to them, but they're laying across the road. That's usually to block a path. The X's, the giant wooden X's, we've shown those many times. pull ups. These are the opposite of pull downs. The pull downs make the blinds, but the pull ups are, we also call that weaving or tree line skirting or webbing. It's where they're pulling up everything and creating a foliage wall to block the view, and usually on the back side of that is where you'll find their hunting areas or their structures. And they will hide behind those. They also use them to corral and get people to go, or the prey to go down certain areas. You're going to move to the side and go exactly where they want you to if you can't get through. And they also will do these foliage walls of the thickets, the vines with the stickers. They love those. And the path that they use will lift up like a sheet or a blanket door, and the thorns are broken off. So only the very, very observant will notice that. And that's usually on the Bigfoot path, which we've talked about before. They have their own path that cuts diagonally through to intersect the paths of their prey. Foliage or dark shadows increase. You look out in your yard and you're like, I never noticed that dark spot being so big there. Or you see the pull downs on the trees and you're like, but it didn't even storm. There's no good reason for the pull downs, which is the broken off branch that he showed the picture of earlier. It may be tiny, it may be a bunch of little bitty ones all around a tree, spiraling up the tree.
So when you see your trees change,
Yeah, pay attention.
skirting or stickers start going up and line up against the tree, or another tree just kind of bent over to cause a blind. Those are early warning signs, and you need to get out there and see what's going on. Start tracking, deterring.
We have a lady in Louisiana who's trying to take care of her mother-in-law. The mother-in-law lives by herself. She's in her 80s. She's foolish about going out at night feeding the cats. And she shouldn't even be outside at all, and not at night. And twice the Bigfoots have pulled vines 30 to 40 feet up all the way around her house. The lady tells us that it's as if they're trying to claim the house back into the forest. What they're doing is setting up the elderly woman for an attack, and she just refuses to see what's going on. So look in on your elderly neighbors or parents, grandparents.
And learn all of this, learn as much as you can, because if you don't know what you're looking at, you could be like 99% of these people who don't know what they're looking at. And you can have these things right up on your house, like a lot of people have them on their house.
And it's not hard. It's the same patterns over and over. You can go to Colorado in the snow. You can go to the desert. You can go to the swamp, mountaintop, wherever. They're going to use the same kind of patterns with whatever foliage is available to them, whatever is growing naturally in the area or whatever can be moved into the area easily. They're going to do the same things no matter where you go.
And also in that new book that we just put out, Predatory Bigfoot and the Spiritual Warrior's Path, has a lot of knowledgeable information in there for you. We're just touching on what that book will do for you to give you the information.
We're very specific in the book with some very detailed drawings.
And of course, there's more information than what we're sharing here, but all of it's important. And that book has a lot of information that you really do need.
If you start noticing tracks that you haven't seen before, they're larger than normal tracks, or a barefoot track in the winter, just things that don't make sense, start paying attention to that. Know your neighbor's dog's tracks. Just pay attention to what's normal and what's not normal. Smells, same thing. Pay attention. If it's a smell of a skunky smell, a nasty smell, but it goes away right away, that's not a skunk smell. They don't go away right away. They linger.
And also, Bigfoots have, and this is also in the documentary, and I believe it's in the book also, but their smells are the smell of a fresh pine forest. Of course, the rancid blood snake tarantula smell, that awful skunky
Funky.
smell.
Frankincense and myrrh.
Frankincense and myrrh, or the smell of candy or a sweet perfume of a woman.
And some of them don't smell at all.
And no smell, of course. But use those smells also. Especially if you smell something sweet or perfumey or candy-ish kind of smell, use that as an early warning or early detection. You've got a predator around you, and it's close enough for you to smell it. These things are huge. They're vicious. They're fast, strong. You don't need to be out there by yourself. And if you smell these things, you see those birds, there's missing animals. Use all these things as early detection warnings.
Notice patterns. Pay attention to the patterns in the area. Those are their weaknesses too. They're looking for your patterns. You notice theirs. If every time you walk outside you hear a certain sound of a bird or an insect or a dog bark, and when your daughter walks out it's a different sound, pay attention to that, because those sounds are their nicknames basically for you. They're just alerting that one just came out. They're keeping an eye on. Pay attention to that and learn what they have related to you. So noises, chirps.
But you will find that if you go out, or when you're going outside, or anyone in your family goes outside, if you're paying attention, and if there are predator Bigfoots in your area, you're going to have a certain bird chirp. Your brother is going to have the sound of a goose that comes out. Whenever your mother comes out, it may be the sound of a horn. When your father comes out, it may be the sound of a chainsaw. But it'll be a different sound for each person. Each Bigfoot picks a person. That one belongs to him. I get to eat that one. I get to eat that one. I get to eat that one.
Dibs.
Dibs. If you notice and if you listen, you're going to hear that there's one out there that's got a whistle for you, or a sound like a honk, or it could even be a voice out there.
If you start feeling a lot of sleeplessness, nightmares, uneasiness, pay attention to those things. Something's going on. Your spirit body is trying to warn you that something's going on. Pay attention. You will start catching more and more blurs and mists, lingering fog that are just stringy. They shouldn't be there. Pay attention to those. Those are also signs they can control the weather in different ways.
But also in those blurs, those glimpses, those silhouettes, shadows, and quick movements, those are also predators. Those are also Bigfoot predators and hybrids, or the translucent.
Yeah, and spiritual predators.
Yeah, they move so fast, or they can move so fast, that they are actually called blurs.
Mm-hmm.
Because by the time you get a chance to look at them, and they can jump up to 50 feet, depends on the animal. They can get a running start, jump, and you won't even hear them before they even land. But
trust yourself. If you think you just saw something out of the corner of your eye, don't dismiss it. Trust yourself.
And if you do catch something out of the corner of your eye, the best thing to do is not look at it. Keep looking in your frontal direction, because your eye will catch it. But if you turn towards them, you'll lose it with your eyes.
That's all I have on that list.
So we want to talk a little bit about some spider qualities, some spider predator traits. And you're going to find that these traits of the spider are the same traits of the predator Bigfoot. They go hand in hand. The spider has predator spider DNA inside of it,
along with other multiple DNAs, but always the spider.
Every predator has spider DNA.
You know, when you hear about a Bigfoot tapping on a window, and there's some women that, or very naive women that think that it's cute for Bigfoot to be interested in them tapping on their window, and they might even think it's cute that Bigfoot's crushing on them or whatever. No, they want to mate with you. A tarantula even will tap on the glass like that when it's looking for a mate. That's what they want, and that is not something that you want. We're talking about rape, a very vicious and brutal rape, and there's nothing cute about that, and there's nothing to encourage about that. They're spiders. Let's see what we got. These are just predator traits. They can be translucent, the spiders.
Mm-hmm.
They dissolve or liquefy their prey. They prefer the soft tissues. They work in darkness and in shadows. They hide behind the light. They set traps. They carry offspring on their backs. These are things spider predators have in common with the Bigfoots also.
Mm-hmm.
The male carries the offspring, and the female hunts. They set traps. They wait. They're very, very patient. They're ambush predators. They will pounce on their prey. They will bite their prey to poison, paralyze, or puncture. In The Legend of Time, which is in our DVD, the Bigfoot is known to have a bite like fire that paralyzes its prey. They mate with and eat their prey at the same time. Again, talking about the spiders and the Bigfoots. They're cannibalistic. They have no mercy. They are predators. They will bind their prey. Obviously, spiders do that, but so do the Bigfoots. They will bind or make it impossible for the prey to move. They have unequal appendages. The forearms are way too long. They're disproportionate. They have no neck. They're always a predator. Some don't, as far as the Bigfoot, Jerry always says, some don't go to charm school and the others go to predator school. They're always a predator. And if they haven't attacked yet, it's just not the time yet. Let's see. That's it as far as the spiders.
And all these things go hand in hand with the spider, with the Bigfoot. When a spider eats something, it takes the DNA of whatever it has eaten, and it goes through the body. That DNA, whatever it's eaten, is produced into the offspring. It's the same thing with the Bigfoot. Whatever the Bigfoot eats, it will produce, with that DNA, an offspring or offsprings, multiple. The
A note on that, one of the other channels, someone told us they were making fun of us for saying this, that about the spiders eating the offspring and showing or eating and the DNA showing up in their offspring. They're uneducated, so they're making fun of something that they don't understand.
And that's what Melba Ketchum's going to be having problems with if she don't come to that conclusion.
You don't have to I don't have to understand electricity to know that if I go over to that wall and I flip the switch, it's going to come on. You don't have to understand the process to recognize the result. So,
yeah. So the spider, and also in the book, we talk about the Legend of Time. It's in the book. You'll read that. But when the spider eats something, the DNA is transferred and the offspring is produced, multiple offsprings. Same thing with the Bigfoot. So if the Bigfoot eats more coyotes, more wolves in that area, you're going to produce a walking wolf, which a lot of people call a dog man. If it eats more elk or more moose, you're going to have a Wendigo, more animalistic. And it also goes by what they eat, because if it's more eating more bear, more panther, more hog, this is where you'll get the bear pig man or the chupacabra. More more furry in the face or more animalistic. The ones who are more animalistic or more fur on their face, those haven't eaten a lot of man in that lineage. But there are some that eat man, and they prefer it, and that makes a better man-like Bigfoot, a better man-like predator. So you can get some Bigfoots that look human, but they're cannibals, and they're just using that to get closer to eat people. But it's the same thing. The DNA is just whatever the DNA, whatever it eats. Now, if the Bigfoot quits eating man, it will revert back to an animal. Then it will revert back to a large spider.
Over its generations. And we're not talking about just like this predator, this original cosmic spider predator, has the ability to bind with all those different kinds of DNA. Spirit with animal. Shouldn't have been, but there it is.
Mm-hmm. So that's whenever you're asking about the DNA of the chupacabra, the Wendigo, the Mothman, the Goatman, all those, it's the same predator, it's the same DNA.
You're never going to get them all to fit neatly into little boxes.
Not one is exactly alike. You'll never have twins. Everything that comes out is different.
Just combination of everything and a completion of nothing.
Yeah, just like when a spider, this is how you get the jumping spider, the bell spider, bird spider, wolf spider, all these different kinds of spiders. They're the same spider. It's just what they've eaten to produce a different kind of spider, a flying spider or something like that.
And then also breast milk, blood, or mating with sperm.
For humans, yeah, the DNA is transferred that way. So all they got to do is eat a human. They're going to get DNA. After eating a woman who's producing milk, they're going to get more DNA that way.
And we're talking about through the generations. We're not talking about happens instantly and tomorrow they become a different creature. We're talking about through their
and if
offspring.
if they can get a man or a male to produce semen, they will take that also.
Or reverting backwards over time.
Yeah.
Would be slowly also.
So you have to always look at the traits of the spider to see the traits of the Bigfoot. And you'll also see these traits in other cryptid animals and creatures.
Learn about their hunting patterns, especially like the funnel spider, the trapdoor spider. Those are both methods.
And with the early detection, and you know that these things are around, you start looking for their ambush spots. You start looking for areas that, like we were talking about, the dark areas, the
ambush spots.
Yeah.
The places, and this is places to be aware of for every kind of predator that we're talking about tonight. Porta potties, because of the smell and the vulnerable position, the person can't see. There are a lot of attacks at porta potties and like park restrooms. There are isolated spots. There's attacks from all three kinds of predators there. Dark areas, in the woods, by the dumpsters, under bridges.
Did you have the one about the victims?
Yes, victim patterns.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the Bigfoots watch people. So what makes it easy for people to be taken without any questioning, really, the Bigfoots will watch to see if that homeless person has been going out to that same spot for 2 weeks. No one's followed him out. No one's came to check on him. That's a meal waiting to happen. But the person or the people, and these are people who, the ridiculers, the mockers, the
Jerks,
the people who give other people a hard time, for
uneducated.
the uneducated, who, from the people who are trying to show, even if it's a lightly blurred photo, to us, we can see those things. People send film in all the time, photos.
Those
We
with
can
an
see them.
agenda.
The ones who are with the agenda, even there's some agents on some of the group pages who try to ridicule and mock just to try to get people not to produce any more information.
Yeah, get them to hide their pictures. Yep.
But the people are victims, and victims are something that Bigfoots, predators, human predators, they all look for. It's no different. But a lot of things that the humans do can be changed.
Yeah.
But it has to do with a lot of pre-programming. So we want to talk about a few of the human traits that gets a lot of people, and has gotten a lot of people taken.
So these will be mixed a little, just in your mind. Know that some of these cross the board between all three types of predators: human, spiritual, or the Bigfoot and hybrid predators. They're victims. What they're generally looking for: people who are easily manipulated, easily distracted, passive, eager to please, eager to help, eager to fool. They lack confidence. They're always looking down. They are submissive. They're easy to intimidate. They're weak physically or mentally. They've got some kind of visible weakness. They are predictable. They have too many patterns. Or routines. They're fearful. They're easily confused. They are too loud. They make a lot of noise, attract a lot of attention to themselves. This is really a big one with the whoopers and the tree knockers and the people out in the woods. They are unaware, unobservant. They got their headphones in. They're not making eye contact with anything. They're out of their mind on drugs, prescriptions, sleep meds, alcohol, or mental illness. Maybe they've gorged and they're just in a stupor. Anything that makes it where you are not aware of your surroundings and you're easier to attack. They're unprepared. They don't know how to look for trouble. They don't know how to recognize trouble. They don't know how to defend themselves. They're anxious type people. They are isolated people. There's nobody around them. They're always by themselves. Bullied and abused people tend to be victims. Well, clearly. But a bully or an abuser can spot a victim. That's why they're like, why is everybody picking on me? It's because it's almost like they're marked, and it's because of the way that they carry them or the way that you carry yourself. They volunteer too quickly to do things that get them into trouble. They don't put a lot of thought into their decisions, very impulsive. They doubt their self. If they put something here and then it's over there, they're just too quick to say, oh, I guess I put it over there, not where I thought I did. Or think, I didn't really see that. I didn't really hear that. Maybe I'm just going crazy. They're so easy to take advantage of. Sins can open the doorway to any of these predators. They make stupid, impulsive decisions. They self-harm, so they're easy to get to hurt themselves. They are depressed, tend to be depressed, and these are also spirits involved with these too. They're the names of spirits that also cause people to display these conditions. They're angry. The angry people are very easy to manipulate. They have been abandonment issues or rejection issues, runaways, the homeless. They might have no friends or family around. They have PTSD, so they're easy to freak out and get into a dangerous situation. They're desperate for attention or love. They are sick or tired. They may even curse themselves by saying things like, I'm sick and tired, I'm sick and tired, until they eventually really are sick and tired. They may be wounded. They open doors or portals by some kind of behavior, such as gifting or Ouija board, summoning, anything like that. They are naive. They're uneducated. They just don't know. They're ignorant. They're untrained. No one's ever taken the time to teach them, or the knowledge has never been available to them. They, I already said that one. And they have no spiritual life. They have no discernment. They don't recognize what their spirit body's trying to tell them, what the Holy Spirit's trying to tell them, what the guardian angel's trying to tell them. So those are traits in common for victims.
All victims who are using their iPhones, go camping, go hiking, you got your headphones on, you got your sunglasses on, you're with your buddies, you're talking, you're tanking up, you're loud, you're
staring into the fire, blinding yourself,
can't see,
fooling around.
Bigfoots will walk right up to you. Submissive people, they're not going to fight. They're not prepared. They're going to be submissive to a Bigfoot. Those people will be taken without any cause.
You know how a dog will smell fear? It's the same way with these predators. They recognize it and they'll attack.
And if they know that they got you, they will walk right up to you. There's no point in trying to chase you or scaring you, because you're gonna you
just made it easy.
You're scared enough that you're not gonna move at all anyway. Being predictable, no habits, no routines or schedules. You have those out there. You have those in your daily life, and Bigfoots are around. You've already been figured out. People who are too loud out there, who are not aware, who are not observant, those people come up missing pretty quick.
They also can turn other people into victims, like keep hollering a kid's name out there, and then the Bigfoots that learn to mimic will holler your kid's name. You just put them in danger.
Drinking alcohol, yelling, and things like that. Being uninformed before you even go out there. To not even know that Bigfoots are out there. To not even think about it. To not even be concerned about anything like that, much less bears and cougars. Going out there with no weapons, drinking, laughing, which is good to be laughing and everything, but hold your laughter down, especially when you're in the forest. If you're at home, fine. But when you're out in the forest, remember there are other predators out there.
And have a guard on duty.
Guard on duty. Any noise, a predator will come and find you. Whether it's a coyote, even a moose, a bear.
A ringtone on your phone.
A ringtone on your phone. Noise, voices attract predators. Always remember that. The more noise you make, the more you talk, the louder you. If you're out there in the forest somewhere and you're talking, making noise, expect Bigfoots to come in. People who are untrained or uneducated to the fact that these things are real, they're at a very dangerous point in their life, because they have other people around them, whether it's their own children or family members, or even other groups who think that Bigfoot and these predators are not real, and they go on these excursions and expeditions. A lot of people have found out that these things are real. Even non-believers have found out these things are real. It will change your life, but you better be prepared before you go out there.
Tried to warn someone in a group today and showed 2 photos that we have of Bigfoots with puppies, that we know that they will try to lure people, especially children, with their little dogs, and tried to warn people with it today, and they put up the little passive aggressive laughing face. That's an example of stupidity, because she's not even open to the idea of this information might save some kid's life. She just wants to mock right away. That's a stupid woman, and I hope she's not in charge of any children.
The projections.
Oh, okay.
The vortex.
Predator projections. This goes along with mind speak. This goes along with the demonic, with the spiritual warfare, and with the predator Bigfoots, and even with humans that are into mind control. They can all project these emotions onto their victims: sadness, despair, terror, fear, trauma, memories of trauma, isolation, self-doubt, hatred, bitterness, confusion, nightmares. Nightmares means you are trapped in nightmares are traps in a dream state. They can project into your mind to attack or to run, to do something dangerous or foolish. And with the mind speak, they can't read your mind. They can read your body language. They can read what you do, but they can put thoughts into your mind. They can whisper to you. You can take it in, but they can't read your mind. That's God alone can do that. Some predator tactics that all of these kind of predators have in common: grooming. They pretend to be a friend. Don't be afraid of little old me. This works with demons who pretend to be a little kid demon. They pretend to be your dear departed loved one, but it's just a trick. They're mimicking. They're doing nothing more than mimicking that person, and they have the spiritual ability to do that, to fool you, so that they can lure you into divination and into speaking with the dead, speaking with the unclean spirits. The Bigfoot that will bring a gift to your house, and these people think they've developed these wonderful relationships with them. These people are nothing more than food in the pantry. The Bigfoots are also under spiritual laws. They're not all allowed to attack en masse right now. There are instances where they are allowed, but not completely. That day hasn't come yet. We're warning people that the day will come when they'll, trying to prepare people for it. But so they're basically grooming, just the same as a rancher. He takes care of his stock, but he still plans to eat them. He's still going to take care of them, keep other predators off of them, but they're still going to be his prey ultimately. Another predator tactics is luring. So they might stand in the wood line. They might have a sheet up against them and the hair hanging down. They might look like the lady in white at the edge of the tree line that you just can't quite make out. And the closer you get, the more they move back into the woods. The luring. It might be in the spirit world. It might be a little toy, a little ball that comes rolling out for no good reason. It could also be a translucent predator, but something that lures you to go further and further into their realm.
I'm going to show this picture real fast
Okay.
also.
This is one of the pictures. You see the Bigfoot predator in the background, the mutation, and then the little puppies in the front there. This Bigfoot is holding this puppy. This is one of the pictures that I tried to share in a group today and got mocked at by the stupid woman. But I mean, how many humans have also used the little puppies and things like that to try to lure kids? It's the same tactic. They design personal traps. All of them will design personal traps for you. If you're a Bigfoot researcher and you're into feathers, you're going to find a lot of feathers eventually. Once they get to know you, they know what's going to attract you. Maybe it's a blue piece of anything blue. Maybe it's certain kinds of stones, but they're watching for whatever it is. Maybe you're a bone collector, but they're going to put that in the path to try to establish some kind of connection with you. Same thing that the human predators will do, and the spirits. They use the shadows and the darkness and clutter and secrecy to hide. All of them do. That's a commonality among them. The predators work in secrecy. They love to isolate their prey. They like to be, the prey either will cling to them and think that the predator is their savior, or will just be too afraid to not listen to them.
Mm.
They will cause their prey to harm or destroy themselves, especially the sadistic ones, which really, what predator isn't sadistic? But they really get their jollies if they can get you to run into something, hurt yourself, bang yourself. That's what half of the jokes, scary movies are about, is the people are running around doing more harm to themselves than anything. And that's the way the devil works that way too. He doesn't have to take our lives. He can just get us to do stupid things and sinful things until we destroy ourselves.
Well,
And the Bigfoots will do that too. They'll run you into a trap. They'll run you over a log that has the land spikes on the other side of it to impale yourself. They'll get you to hurt yourself. You can think of a million ways where you're doing the work for them. They can make you so desperate and full of despair and anxiety that you try to harm yourself, or get so desperate that you save that one last bullet for you. Don't ever do that. Save that hope. Use that last bullet for right between the eyes of one of these predator Bigfoots.
Kill them.
Yeah. They use stealth. They select their victim very carefully, and they might have 25 potential victims, but they're going to focus and zero and lock in on the one. There are people out there, as far as predators, human predators, that will, you guys are, it drives me crazy. They'll fill out the Facebook quizzes and give all this kind of information, things that can be used for passwords, or things that information that can be used to stalk you later. You're filling it out on quizzes and displaying it for everybody. There are predators that sit there with notebooks trying to see, well, what elementary school did their kid go to? Did they list that on their back to school photos? Or, there's detailed psychotics out there taking note in that kind of way to see how they can stalk you or your kids. And the Bigfoot are no different. They're watching, when does your kid get on the bus? Is anybody out there with them? When do you check the mail? When do you go to the woods, go to the wood pile? When do you come and go from the car? Are your arms full? Do you leave the door open while you're carrying things in? Does your kid play outside while you're carrying things in? They watch for those things. Any kind of opening, any kind of opportunity. There were disguises. Like I was saying earlier, the Bigfoot with the sheet or the dress or a trench coat or a hoodie. We have pictures of a Bigfoot with a hoodie, and that's another one that's got a dog with it too. That was our other picture. That's nothing more than urban camouflage for a Bigfoot. And the other disguises are the human predators that they'll dress up like a person that can be trusted and fool you that way. They use or manipulate their surroundings to take advantage. Don't make it easy for them. Don't leave a bunch of crap laying around, or let your bushes get big and overgrown that stalkers of any sort can hide behind them or be lying in ambush for you.
But also, a lot of researchers, we have seen some on other channels, which is just like when people tell us about them. We don't really go look at other channels. But when we do, people tell us, you need to check this out. We see a lot of researchers going into a lot of traps, and we see them getting impaled on some of these things that we teach about. And they miss all these blind structures, traps, shooting, skirting, everything that's in that book, everything that's in the new book, Predator Bigfoot and the Spiritual Warrior's Path, and the description is in below. How to order that on Amazon.
Todd Standing got caught in one of those traps.
Todd Standing, he was
impaled his leg on a land spike.
Person who got impaled on a land spike. But we see people walking into. In our book, we explain do's and don'ts and where to look for certain things, where to find certain things, how to avoid them. And if I would say if Todd had that book before he went out there, he wouldn't have got impaled. A lot of researchers wouldn't have walked into ravines and caves and things like that. Which when we see that, it irritates us to know that some of these researchers are doing exactly what we say not to do. They have a bigger channel, a bigger audience. They're showing all the wrong things to do.
Responsible for those lives.
They should, yeah. They don't take that responsibility serious as like we do. That's why you'll find in that book all the information that you do need to know, plus all the things on this channel. Even with the luring, with the luring is what we're talking about, the tactics that they will use those puppies to lure children out and things like that. And a Bigfoot will take a child, especially if it's out there by itself. Will take a pet if it's out there by itself. This is also why we teach on this channel to always have somebody, more than one, outside at all times. If you have, if your girlfriend, if your loved one, your child is outside, you be out there with them. If your dog is out there, be out there with them, or be in an enclosed area like a fence. Don't let it just run out, because it will get lured by food, or it will get lured by another small puppy. It will get lured by a whistle or something like that to pull that that food supply out to it.
Which thing am I doing next?
Predator patterns. Oh, was we finished with that one?
Well, yeah, we pretty much covered it all.
Okay.
Covered these and others.
Okay.
Another tactic is distractions. Predator patterns. We have a list of predator patterns. They seek to control others. They stalk. They isolate their victims. They are opportunists. They ambush. They groom their prey. They also look for patterns. They rush to establish connections. They use cover, camouflage, deception, illusion, crypsis, or disguises. They have no mercy. They have no close friends. They may be somebody that's very, very popular, but nobody's actually really close to them, and their family doesn't talk to them much when you're talking about the human predators. Or they just clearly obvious. They mimic their prey. Even human predators will sometimes, you've seen the stories of the crazy roommate that starts dressing like their roommate and wants to take over their personality. Humans also do their own forms of mimicking. The demons will mimic, and the Bigfoots will mimic. They are all energetic parasites, meaning they are parasite. They suck the energy off of you. They bind their prey. They blind their prey. They trick their prey. They deceive and lie. They are obsessive. They are storm and chaos chasers. They never want to, even the human predators, a lot of abductions happen during catastrophes, during floods and fires and different things like that. The human traffickers will swoop in and, snatch kids up. I could go on to a rant about Hillary Clinton and some of her people when that happened in Haiti, but y'all can look into that yourselves. They are bloodthirsty. They are violent. They have no empathy. They are stealthy. They operate in secrecy. They work in dark locations. They play mind games. They use mind speak. They just give you a sense of danger. Pay attention to that. Or maybe you are too naive to notice it, but your friends or your family are saying, that person seems dangerous. Maybe just if it's a wise person telling you that, maybe pay attention. They have habits, so try to learn their habits so that you can defend yourself against them. They can't stalk you if you're stalking them.
That's true.
You know, very competitive. Another form of predator is the gossips, the person you only hear from when they want to know what's going on in your life, so they can report back to headquarters or whatever. They're accusers, and that all they go in with a monitoring spirit, which also matches with the snitches of the forest, the crows. There's like the human equivalent of the crows and the familiar spirits. I think this has pretty much been covered up.
Did we get to seasonal? Season.
What was that? Oh, we have a lot of notes tonight. Oh, and some predators also work with when he had talked about the moon cycles. Every officer and person who works in a hospital, in the mental health wards, they will all tell you that the crime and the craziness amp up during the full moons. So even humans are part of those cycles.
We're just going to say that the Bigfoots are opportunists. They will be at those storms. If your children are outside playing by themselves, expect them to be taken. Livestock and pets. If you know Bigfoots are in the area, they're seasonal, they're habitual, they will return, they will use the same patterns, they will use the same strategies to trap food. They will wait till you go to sleep. They will learn your pattern. They are scavengers. Every sign, every early warning sign that you get, start deterring right then. Don't play with these things. Don't think that you're going to make friends with these things. And don't start any gifting or anything like that. Once gifting starts, it doesn't stop, especially if you're close to that area. I hear people sometimes say that they live with these things and that they're gifting and things like that, but they're not living with these things.
Right.
They may be taking food or toys out there, but they're leaving. And they'll come back and check and maybe get a trinket or something. But they're not living with them. If they were living with them, the women would be raped, the men would be raped. They would not be living with them. They would be eaten. So when people say that they're living with them, all they're doing is taking things out and leaving. Or these Bigfoots are coming to their home and then leaving. But they're not living with them. Mm-hmm. And if they were living with them, you would have the best photos. You would have right. Because you would be sitting right next to it, taking it. But these people are not doing it. So don't be have that misconception that anyone is living with these things. You live or get around these things, you will become a meal.
You are not special.
You're not special.
You're special to God. You're not special to them.
Yeah, and they will eat you. They're just waiting for that opportune time, or when the food runs out, or if it's time for them to move on. They're not going to waste their meal.
And you people that are teaching the kids to go out and whoop and do the Bigfoot whooping contests, that's really dumb. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're increasing the danger for those kids. You're teaching them to call a monster. Just think about that. Think about that. We've told you before the story of a friend of mine that a Bigfoot tried to snatch out of the bathtub when he was a little kid. Think about that. And you're telling them to call the Bigfoots. It's just foolishness. Besides that, you don't even do it well. The Bigfoot think it's silly. And they don't whoop or tree knock for wildlife. They do it for the humans. It's just here come the idiots.
Yeah.
Here comes the food.
Yeah, Bigfoots and predators don't need to wood knock or whoop for a deer or
No.
for a bird.
No.
They only whoop for a human just to say there's a human here, let's eat.
Or how many are there? Yeah.
How many are there? But these, knowing all these early warning signs, knowing your area, knowing the bushes, knowing the shadows, knowing the strategic locations, running your track traps, these Bigfoots will still come to your house, but with your early detection, your early warning signs, you can start deterring. But when Bigfoots do come to your house, and this is for people who don't know, hadn't been doing any deterring, I'm going to show you some sketches that they will get as close as they can to your home. And what we call fat trees, we just mean that the stem of the tree should be like this. It should not be wrinkled out, wider than a normal tree, and have discoloration that is not of that tree.
Get to know your lawn.
Know your lawn, know your trees, know your bushes. These Bigfoots will get behind a tree and put their arms out. They will spread their feet in a 45-degree angle to get as close as they can to the base of that tree. And you won't ever see them unless you know what to look for. These Bigfoots will also sit at a small distance away on a tree or a stump or even a rock. And if they're in your area and they're watching you and your home and your family, look around that tree or that stone or that stump, and you will find foot imprints that are going in the circle. And all they're doing is going all the way around in a circle. They're sitting in there rotating. They're looking for this home, that home, this game area, this wood line. All they're doing is they're just going around looking all night, waiting for the opportunity or the food to come by.
Or avoiding you as you move around.
Also, at those trees and your bushes, you have to know your bushes. You have to know your trees. You have to know your shadows in your own home, in your own yard. These predators will look like a bush. They look like a lion dog. They look like a lion dog with a beak, or a big fluffy dog, mangy dog laying there. They will be in the field. You'll find them at the base of trees, at the bottom of the bushes. They lay as low as they can, mostly sideways. But if you watch their breathing, it's not like a human breathing. It's like an extra lung capacity, extra large lung capacities. They will also build blinds to where you could sit in them, someone big could sit in them, and they will always have a 360-degree area that they watch. In this blind here where Lead Tracker E was, she could turn and see everything that needed to be seen. The back of the forest area, the walking trail, the places where people work, the senior citizens area, and the daycare. You could hear people laughing and playing and working in
And they
that area.
sat there and ate birds. It was full of bird feathers and bones while they sat there watching everything around.
They were having a meal there. Also, berry pickers. These Bigfoots will lay down, and the big ones, they will lay down behind those big berry bushes and wait for food to come, whether it's a deer, a bear, or a person. If you're a berry picker or a mushroom picker, be very aware, observant, and be cautious while you're out there.
And people will say, they'll talk about the structures, and they'll say, well, they're not developed enough to live in there. Well, they're not living in those. They're hiding in them until the prey comes by. It's not their home. You know, it's not filled with furniture. It's just a place to cover them while they wait.
They don't need a perfect kind of whole covered area all matted out like a human would try to do. It's still gonna have sticks in there. It's gonna look like you can't even get in there.
Like a tangled mess.
Like a tangled mess, and you're like, oh, nothing could go in there. But if you was to sit in there and push out real fast, you would see that will open up.
And some things, when you get on the back side of them, it's a hollowed out room in there. But from the front side, it just looks like a wall of foliage.
Yeah. So when you're out there, you have to look. Remember, in a forest grows vertical. Straight up. That's how trees grow. They don't grow like these boughs in the back behind us. Not like this bowed one right here. Not like that big bowed one. Those are early warning signs. Those are danger signs. These are danger signs.
And they may be very low. They may only be a foot high. But if you see a branch or a sapling that's been bent over and it's held down on the other side or shoved into the ground on the other side, pay attention to those. Those are little snares.
Yeah.
They're short bows.
Pay attention. That tree did not get pushed down onto another tree and then another stump used to hold it down.
You don't coincidentally have a big pull down on each corner of your lawn, facing your front and back doors.
When you're out in the field also, what we call bridges or trolls underneath the bridge, we're going to show you that real fast. When you see a tree or a branch laid across a ravine, that is what we call a bridge. And those stories, those fairy tale stories were all true. And you're going to find on each side of the stem and the top of the tree, you're going to find a cave. That's where the Bigfoots hide and wait for animals or people to walk across that bridge, that tree that they laid down, so that when it's halfway up or halfway in the middle, the Bigfoots will come out and show themselves.
No different than walking down a dark alley and then they've got you blocked on each end for human predators.
And if you drop down into that ravine, there are other Bigfoots because they do work in groups or troops, and they will force that prey down the ravine to more awaiting Bigfoots.
Those curves are blind spots that you have to be careful of.
And if you see a tree laying across a waterway, a ravine, a stream, a river, that is a trap. That is a Bigfoot trap. If you see that, that is also an early warning sign. Here are some trees, 5 in a row, plus one on the other side, of bowed over trees. This is this also is an early warning sign.
Not normal.
Trees grow vertical. They're not bowed over. They're not bent. They're not bent like these trees, like this. These are danger signs. These are early warning signs. If you see any of these, start tracking.
X's are another warning sign. Stay out of the area.
X's are another warning sign. Here's another example of a bow that is also a bridge. But if you look where the bridge ends, you'll see a hollowed out tree. We was with a friend, pyromedic. He was showing us some territory in his area. And we went around the backside and came back in the opposite direction. And we found these blinds, these
ambush caves.
These ambush areas, these bridges, these bows.
We also call them embankment blinds.
This is Pyro, very close to this one. It's a very large hiding ambush area. We tracked in here and found more Bigfoot structures.
You would only see that from one direction that was hard to get to.
And that's the inside of it. this has been used often. There's deer, mostly cow in this area.
Yeah, we found a lot of cattle bones.
But if you find these these bows and bridges, those are early warning signs. If you find anything like this,
No matter how cool you think it looks, because some of them look pretty cool.
this is a danger sign. This means danger. This means predator Bigfoots are in the area.
As we stood there getting that picture, we heard another tree being bowed over.
It started cracking, pop, 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 right behind us. Here's another early warning sign. These are tracks. This was from one of our trackers around the upper Oklahoma area. This is a walking wolf footprint. Some people call it dogman. That's a full-grown person, I guess you'd say, and that footprint is bigger than her footprint. So that walking wolf, that dogman, is bigger than she is. Plus, it left big scrapes on her shed.
12 feet long.
12-foot long scrapes just across the entire side of the shed.
It shredded some of her trees.
Here it is. We're going to leave this up for just a second, but this is what we call water spirits, or a Bigfoot that is in water in an embankment blind. And you'll find that also in the new book, Predator Bigfoot and the Spiritual Warrior's Path. All this information also is in there, especially about the water spirits, except we go into more detail about it. But here's a water spirit. It is a Predator Bigfoot aquatic hybrid that waits in the water for swimmers, boaters, and fishermen. They will put mud on their face, sticks on their face, anything to break up that silhouette.
Just the eyes need to stick out like an alligator.
Just the eyes need to stick out just like the alligator.
They will use hooks to pull you under the water. You have that? There it is, right here. This had a much longer stem on it.
Yeah, this was longer. But they will use
Hooks.
hooks to pull prey in, to also give the notion that it was an alligator or something else that pulled it in.
Yeah.
Because it'll be drug in.
Do we have tracker M's on here?
No.
We found these in multiple sizes.
And this was at a dock area where people fish, not a high populated area. But if you're a fisherman there at night, right there at the dock, this was laid there just for somebody to put their foot in and get pulled down.
And there's a cave dug in up under the dock. And from in that cave, you can see people walking from quite a distance, but the people walking in cannot see into that cave up underneath the dock. This is the human predators.
So this is the embankment blind Bigfoot. This is an aquatic Bigfoot. Like we said in the new book, Predator Bigfoot and the Spiritual Warrior's Path. And we do talk more about the water spirits. We also want to show you here translucent Bigfoots. We're going to show you a couple of these real fast. There's about 6 or 5 pictures that we have of translucent Bigfoots, of Bigfoots that are pixelated, or in the book we talk about this, but like a watery haze look, a crystallized look, a pixelation or a pixelized look.
They bend the light.
It's a bending of light. We're going to show you just a couple of quick photos real fast. Here's the Bigfoot that was in a tree above us. It's one of the first ones that we took. And when we're looking for translucent Bigfoots, we're looking for those black lines, those gray lines. It gives them away also.
It's a distortion.
It's a distortion, and you will see that in the trees when you look at them. Just look for those wavy lines.
Especially if you see a tree that's moving and there's no wind.
Yeah.
Look more closely. It'll look like the heat waves off a highway or at the edges of the trees.
And just use those black lines. This was another one, another Bigfoot in a tree, a different location. We had spears, and it was just hanging over a couple of trees, and it was right where we was about to walk under, except we changed directions. This one was sent in by Pyromedic. These are a couple of translucent Bigfoots, and I hope y'all can see that. Their faces are right next to that tree.
They stack up to break up their silhouettes.
You got to know that they're out there. You got to know that they can become translucent. They will sit there and watch you and not move at all day if they have to. Here's another one that's sent in from another friend who lives on Green Hill Monster Road. That face on that tree is not supposed to be there.
It's just feet outside their dining room window. He sees this tree every day.
And when people say it looked just like the tree,
They mean it.
they mean it means it looked just like the tree. These things with their translucent they will stand in front of it and it'll look like they just become a part of it. You can also look for hair or a twitch of their hair also. It will still, even though it's translucent, you can tell the difference between the twitch of a hair and the flutter of a leaf.
We know one soldier that literally tried to lean up against what he thought was a tree, and it was a Bigfoot. But that's how close you can be. And he knew about them. He'd seen them before. But that's how close you can be and not even realize it.
And those are experienced military people who still... A Medal of Valor winner who still almost leaned up against a Bigfoot, a translucent Bigfoot. And he knew about these things, and he's had altercations with them before. But when you get to this, when you get to finding caves in those ravines or around your home, early detection is if you don't know the traps and the blinds, if you have that book, you'll know exactly what to look for. If you don't have that book, stay with this channel as much as you can. Go back and watch those videos. Get the documentary if you can. But once you find things like this, it's already too late. At that same place, the homeowner has 4 horses. That was the last time we checked. We haven't been back in about a month.
Yeah.
And we need to go back out there and check again. We will, hopefully in about a week, to see what has happened since. But he has only 4 out of 12 horses left. All of the animals are gone. No pig, no snake. We know that there are multiple Bigfoots in that area. If you ever watch Bigfoot Odyssey episode number 88 with Mark Copeland, this is that same area. Mark had to leave his home and take his family and get to a safer location. But this is that same area, and they are hunting, and they are eating, and they are running out of food. Here's another picture sent in from another one of our trackers, because we want to show you a couple of Bigfoot photos and we can show you the Bigfoot video. How about that one?
Sure.
Okay, so we're going to just run through and show you a couple of Bigfoots, and then we're going to show you the Bigfoot that is also in the documentary, our Bigfoot documentary, Oklahoma Bigfoot Predator Watch, Antlers in Surrounding Areas. So here's a picture of a Bigfoot that one of our trackers sent in. That one's in the distance. There are others, but they're more hard to see. But this is the best one that was finally stuck its body out. A juvenile. It's not real big.
This is what people mean when they say you're darker than dark, blacker than black, a shadow.
This one was taken in Texas, I believe.
We'll call this one Little Ugly.
Little Ugly. Call him Little Ugly. He's got the sharpest teeth.
Green eyes.
Almost pure, slick black. The whitest, sharpest teeth. You don't want to get in. These things will tear people up. And they run in packs. So you'll have at least 10 of these things on one
That was
person.
in the Big Thicket area of East Texas. This was at the Choctaw, Mississippi.
War Games last year. It was in the bushes right next to where the team comes out by the cafeteria. This thing was sitting right in there just watching the people go by. And there are more in there. This is just the best one that we got at that time.
We called this one Group, but there's actually 3 different beings within here. Well, actually, really 4. There's an orb on his shoulder to his right-hand side, and I think we have it in another picture as more of a close-up, but typical Chewbacca-looking Sasquatch. And up above him, you will see also the walking wolf in the background above, behind.
This Bigfoot, if you get a chance, you can blow it up. There's actually multiple Bigfoots. One is on the other side of the tree, and one is on the right side of the tree. It's not one big Bigfoot, it's 2 right there. And if you do blow that up, you're going to see the side of the face. And it's got pointed ears like an elf. It's got small elf-like pointed ears. If you follow that right side down, you're going to see the hand. It's all furry, all hairy until you get to the hand. And then even the back of the hand is slick like it's wearing black leather gloves. That was one of the first ones that I seen in Oklahoma, near the Clayton, Oklahoma area.
We call this one Chicklet.
Call this one Chicklet. You can see by the bigger teeth that's kind of protruding out.
This one also is in the Big Thicket area. This one was more alligator, reptilian looking. It's more of an aquatic Bigfoot mutation.
It's got a different kind of face on it. It's got
like a little alligator.
Like a little alligator snout, except it's pushed in.
Yeah.
And almost like a bear head. And sharp teeth. And here again is the Bigfoot with the puppy that used to lure or even to get other prey, even to get other anything that would eat a puppy. But they use them to lure children.
And they will also bleed something slowly over time, just small lacerations and drink that blood, that energy, but not actually kill the animal until later. The little one at the end.
Oh, I was trying to see if we had that hoodie.
The one in the hoodie?
Yeah, I thought I had.
I thought we did too. Well, we've shown it before, but we do have another photo of a Bigfoot in a hoodie that was also holding a puppy.
This was sent in by a scout, one of our scouts in the Oklahoma area. Place where they say there's no Bigfoot whatsoever, but our scouts are finding all the signs, all the structures. And if you blow up and zoom in on this one, you're going to see the face. To me, it's a little walking wolfish or dogmanish, kind of little canine looking.
This is in an area that has a college nearby. There are children nearby. There are homeless nearby. There is a water source in the area. And the activity is increasing. There's a really large nest growing, or the nest isn't growing, but they're increasing the nest and filling it out. Also, it's a busy office building type area. And at first they were making fun of her, and now more and more are noticing and paying attention and not parking over in that area. So I guess it's not so funny anymore.
So our scout is at first was really ridiculed. People were saying that she was crazy, but our scout kept collecting information, kept collecting data, and got some great photos, and still got some more photos up. But the people are starting to listen and realize that there may be something there. So I think the precautions are that they're going to start trying to clean that area out and see what they can push out.
And you're never going to get everybody to believe you. Don't worry about it.
But you have to know. You are responsibility for your own knowing.
Yeah.
For your own information.
And the people you're responsible for, your kids or grandkids or.
Getting that book, Predator, Bigfoot, and Spiritual Warrior's Path, which you can pre-order now, but it'll be out on the 3rd of September. It is a very important book. All of our trackers have the PDF. They got it advanced and before. But we have to know all this stuff. We have to know these blinds, and if we can get the jump on it, if we can get our deterring started early, we deter these things. Another tracker from Texas sent in a photo of another Bigfoot. You may even notice, or may even think you might even know this Bigfoot.
Look how cute. That's what you would think.
This is a predator juvenile Bigfoot.
Big enough to chew your head off.
And it would chew your head off. All of the neighborhood stray pets and animals are gone. The squirrels, I think there was one squirrel left and one bird left in that area. But don't trust these looks. This is just a mask. It's just a face to get you or your child or your pet to come closer to it, to get it, to lure it into the forest.
And demons work in the same manner. Don't be afraid of poor little old me.
Don't be afraid of poor little old me.
Human predators work the same way.
So that face right there would lure any child, and it would have leaves around it. It wouldn't show the furriness of it. It would just show what is needed to lure.
They'll even put toys close to wood lines so that the kids go in a little further and a little further.
Mm-hmm. They'll put bicycles, everything, balls, toy, gloves, anything to lure that child.
Yeah.
We're going to show you Bigfoot real fast. It's also in the documentary. But you're going to have to look up about right here. This is where the Bigfoot is. It's in a tree. It's hanging sideways. It's almost pure black except for the roundness of the face and this part. You're going to see the Bigfoot turn his head. It's going to be chewing. It's going to be moving around like this. You're going to see his head move until it turns back towards us and realizes that we're still watching it. So here's the Bigfoot If you've never seen a Bigfoot, plus those photos that we just seen you or showed you, that here's a Bigfoot in a tree that's also in the Bigfoot documentary that you can get through here also. It's $101. It has Bigfoots, Predator Bigfoot photos and video. This is one of the videos that we're going to show you of a Predator Bigfoot in a tree. Make sure you look about right up here and you'll see it moving.
Look for the white spot.
Your feelings and senses will tell you where the predator is located. If the predator is behind you, you will feel the hair on the back of the neck. If the predator is on the right or left, goose pimples, shivers, or wind will be on.
So that was a Predator Bigfoot in a tree, a live one, hanging sideways. And we have also a tracker who has killed these things, put them down. So we're that group that we have things that other people don't. We're actually probably one of the other channels besides Vault that's had Bigfoot hair, we still do, and burned it live on our channel to show you those results of that.
Doesn't smell. Doesn't burn.
It doesn't burn. So we're going to show you this last photo. Lee Tracker is working on it. It's some artwork that's not quite finished, but it's almost. Spider Squatch DNA is the title.
So far.
So far, the name of the painting is Spider Squatch
We don't say
DNA.
BF Sway. Whenever we work on just our combined projects, we're just calling it BF Sway for Bigfoot Sway. That's our pseudonym.
Yeah. So, and that just means that we can't be swayed. You can't change our mind. We're not going to take money to be changing our mind. We know what this thing is. We know the origins, where it comes from, and everything like that. We are the experts. Well, we're going to show you this last painting. It's called Spider Squatch DNA.
In progress.
In progress.
It's signed just because we're putting it online, so
And
it's not signed because it's finished.
and then we'll finish up with the comments and any questions. Oh, okay. And then we'll have our prayer and we'll close for the night. Well, let me show you this photo or artwork real fast. If you haven't seen it, it's something to see.
Well, there it is. There's the Spider Squatch DNA painting. And the Legend of Time, the story, The Legend of Time, that's some of those other animal references that you see in the background. There is a purpose for those. And then if you have the book or the DVD or watch the channel, you'll learn what each of those predators, or each of those animals also means. So we're working on that. And now we're going to do a little short thing on the human predators, since that's the topic, and you understand that the demons also run with these human predators. People to be wary of. That's not to say all, but they're going to be where it's most to their advantage to be in these areas. The people to watch out for the most. Authority figures, entertainers, celebrities, stars, or big religious names. Anyone that's really, really big, you have to use caution, because in this fallen world, you're not allowed to get really, really big unless you've already paid your dues and signed up with the enemy. Otherwise, you're stopped way down when you've proven that you've had morals. CEOs of these major companies, that includes the health-related companies, the children-related companies, anything like that. If the people at the bottom of charities, they're doing their best, but the people at the top, they've usually already sold out. There's all different kinds of predators. Those with access to children, those who are in charge of saving the same groups that they're actually responsible for harming. They'll get into it, some kind of foundation to save the children, help the children, do something with the orphans, but they're actually the ones that are trafficking them, molesting them, and doing all the hideous things to them. But it's a great cover because, hey, I'm the spokesperson for the group. Amber Alert's a good example of that. Look in Hillary Clinton, Amber Alert, Haiti. Do those word searches and you'll see what you come up with. Anyone that's profiteering is a predator. Those in positions of power, the famous, the anyone that the media pushes too hard, too much, you be real careful of them. Religious groups, you got to be careful. We all know. Cults, education, scouts, anyone that has a lot of access to children, you have to be very, very careful of. Pay attention. Great, have your kids be in scouts, but you go be in scouts too. Be in there too, so that you can keep an eye. At least you'll know that you're honest, so you can make sure no kid ever goes alone or spends too much time with one scout leader, or even just the older kids. People who take advantage of chaos and tragedy, we talked about that. The ones that'll swoop in during hurricanes or storms or things like that, and try to take advantage of the situation by robbing people or hurting people, those kind of vultures. Abortionists, plastic surgeons, organ harvesters, and in the prison systems and the prisoners, they also see their full share of predators. They bank off of making people insecure, making them unhealthy. There's all different kinds of predators, and the spirit of being a predator is working right with them. Sexual predators in specific towards kids, they're going to have an abnormal affection for the children. Like, it's really not normal for an adult to just want to hang out with the kids just all the time to the exclusion. They don't really have relationships with other adults. That's a red flag. Pay attention to that. If they spend a great deal of time touching, tickling, wrestling with your kids, that's a bad sign. And there are kids that are so desperate for the attention because there's so many broken families, which is all by design, but they're going to be desperate for that attention. Moms that are single moms or dads, they're going to be desperate for somebody to help care for the kids or watch the kids while they have to go to work. You got to be careful of that. Figure something out and talk to your kids, and don't also count on your kids to tell you the truth, because kids don't want to hurt feelings. They don't want to cause a family to break up. They don't want to get anybody in trouble, or, there's just a million reasons why they might not tell you the truth. So you're going to have to just keep your eyes open, get hidden cameras, do whatever. People who volunteer for everything to do with the kids, that's a red flag. And that's not to say just be wary. It's not accusing everyone that has something to do with kids or likes kids is a bad guy. But where are the ones that want to be around kids in an appropriate way? They're going to go where they have the jobs with access to the kids. The tactics, they target their victim. They create trust or dependency. They get the child alone. They're always going to be the one to volunteer to give them a ride, pick them up from school, babysit. It's really just not that normal for a teenage boy to want to babysit your little kids. They just don't. It's not what they're into. Be wary of that. Some are just lonely and they like kids, but just be very careful. Train your kids. They'll create a sense of secrecy. Nobody should be telling your kids to keep any kind of secrets. It doesn't even matter if it's for a surprise party. They shouldn't be handling the surprise party with the kids. Let them deal with it and then invite your kids, but they don't need to like let's go plan and have secrets. It's just a way to groom the kids to keep secrets from mom or dad. And parents also, that's crappy. Do not have the kind of relationship where you say, don't tell mom and don't tell dad. You guys got to raise them together. Don't allow any kind of secrets like that, or your kid's going to be too confused of what's okay to hide and what's not. They look for opportunities to isolate their prey and to work in secret. They're also sexual predators in the spirit world, and that's the incubus and succubus. We've talked about those in other programs before. The night hags, the ones that hold you down and have sex. Some people call them spiritual spouses. They can cause all kinds of damage, and basically it's being raped by demons. And some people are so lost that they actually think that that's an appropriate thing, or it's something that they want to be done, and they're asking to be completely demonized. It will never end well. Obviously, anybody in the porn industry, they're all predators. Anybody in the entertainment industry, they're predators. Pray for these stars that are born into that industry, and they're just lost. You see them fresh-faced kids, and they go into music or entertainment, and they're just surrounded by all those predators. Just pray for them. They're lost, so they need help. So those are other kinds of predators, and demons run with all of them too. We just want to talk about them all tonight.
But also expect Bigfoots to have those same tactics.
Mm-hmm. They want the kid that's isolated. They want the woman that's being abused. Anybody that's gonna run away, or where there's chaos, where nobody's gonna notice that kid's missing. They're always mad anyway. Nobody will notice. That kind of thing.
We're gonna have to try to do this.
We can only go back up to where David Wilcutt says, "Hey Jerry, I got a question about the crows. What if one lands above you and doesn't go away, even though you completely cover it so that it can't see you? You can throw stones at it, or just outweight it. It'll move on." What would you say?
Yeah, with
do something to try to get it out of there.
Yeah, they will leave if you stare at them. If they don't, you throw a stick, you throw a rock, or you shoot them. But if you stare at them and just stare at them, don't do anything else, just stare at them, they will leave. They know that you're not food and that you got your eye on them.
We've also pointed our finger that at them.
Yeah.
And they moved.
They will move, but if not, use a rock, stick, whatever you got to. If you're in the field and that happened or has happened, it's time to go home. You've been alerted on big time.
You're in the crosshairs.
You're in the crosshairs. Everybody knows where you're at. It's time to just pack it up, go home. Next time you go out, remember bird language. That is also in the new book. Learn that language, know what to do, learn how to go out there before you go out there. Know that those eyes are already on you, but there are ways and tactics to get out there, especially using bird language. And that's letting that forest go back to the way it was, no screeching, make that crow leave, take your time, move out slow, be quiet.
Stay in the shadows.
Stay in the shadows. Don't make noise out there. Have two camps, one for talking, one for eating, and one for doing your research. Don't be talking where you're walking. Don't be sleeping. Don't be eating where you're sleeping. Yeah, that's as far as it goes back.
David Wilcutt, we're not sure what you said. It's a good pickup, but thank you. We don't know where.
Good
It
pick.
says that that's a good pick, but it was further up. We're not sure what he was looking at. I don't think it was that at the time.
Oh, okay.
I think the message came before that.
Scarborough says, "Hey, Jerry Lee Tracker E. Hey, said it's up. I think the link
Scott's
is
here.
up.
Yep. Thanks, Tracker C.
Tracker C, thank you for getting the questions be held for the end.
Scarborough says, amazing photo, plenty of details.
Lee Tracker E does the art and the sketches, and she's amazing.
Darcy says, I pray all technical difficulties stop in the name of Jesus.
Good,
Amen.
because it did. We even had changed phones.
More amens. I love this group. Henry says, why does the claws on feet don't show up on cast footprints?
Because nobody looks for it.
And there's sometimes a long distance before the tip of the claw. It might curve up and it doesn't even touch the ground until it's an inch or two.
Yeah, it'd be like
away.
this, and the foot would be here, but the claws would be out here.
And then how do you cast it? Also, because it's flat, and then you just got a tiny little point at the end.
Yeah.
It's, pretty difficult.
But I always look for that, yeah.
Jerry's showing the reality of the Sasquatch, of how Sasquatches appear on trees, right?
Oh, thank you, Scarborough.
Yeah. Jeremy says he sees them in the pictures. Good, Jeremy. Uh-oh, it skipped us back up. Hopefully we don't miss any comments. We don't mean to, but it's skipping around a little on our screen. More. Your audio is choppy, but we can hear you. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Yeah, the phone that we switched to doesn't have very good audio. Henry says, I've had bear snatch the whole bag and set in thick pine cover to go through it. Yeah. Oh, for trash? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But in this case, in the neighborhood, the Choctaw neighborhood we were talking about, it definitely was not bear. There was just tons of Bigfoot sign, no bear sign.
Mm-hmm.
Scarborough says, have been sharing the knowledge for several years now. The shadows and cloaked Bigfoot present in the vicinity of people's property. Good. We're glad you have, Scarborough.
Good.
Harper says, nothing funny about getting hit in the head with a rock. Absolutely not.
Oh,
and some of those are deadly.
Or even a leg or anything to wound you. And that's a tactic, too, to wound you. That keeps everyone there at the camp.
Sure, and they want to see how you're reacting. What are you going to do? And one group I went out with as soon as the men, and there was two of us females that went with the group of men, because the whole point is we were going to go Sasquatching. The other women, they just weren't into that so much. They stayed at the camp. But as soon as we left, they had pine cones and stones being thrown at them. So the Bigfoot were watching to see when the men left to start harassing the women. Of course, next time they made other decisions, but they are that cunning. They want to see the reaction. Are you armed? Are you going to get up? You're going to do something? You're going to call for help? Are you are you a victim?
Mm-hmm.
Scarborough says.
Jeremy says he'll be right back.
Okay. Scarborough says, personally seen Bigfoot traversing on all fours, which people may mistake at first look their close resemblance to bears. Yep. Yeah, they're faster on all fours.
Oh yeah. But remember, they have a low, quick turn radius.
Desidrio Perez says, hola, Jerry and Lead. Hola.
Hola.
Glad you're here.
¿Cómo está?
Saludos. From
Mexico. Sí.
Glad you're here.
Gusta de los videos en conejos en los betones.
We may have to, we don't have an interpreter here tonight. We may have to answer that question in the comments later after the show. We'll run that through an interpreter.
Says she likes
Is that a question?
videos. No,
Oh, okay.
It likes the paranormal, listening, or learning about the Elpatons, learning about the Bigfoots.
We appreciate your comment.
Judy Wheeler. All right, everybody saying hello to each other. Bob is
Judy's
here.
become quite a tracker. Hey, Bob.
Yeah, Judy's got a lot of information now.
A lot of activity going on.
Bob's here.
Harper says, have seen him use what we call in go sweet shrub, have brownish, sweet smelling flowers. Sweet shrub. Huh. That's what she's talking about, the way they lay in the bushes.
Oh, yeah, like the berry pickers, or for the berry pickers.
Yeah, bears aren't the only things you have to worry about.
Tracker C said, good evening, Judy, and how are you? And Tracker C is actually going to be going to the Dogman Conference.
Oh, yeah, that's so cool.
Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
Dallas, Texas this weekend.
He's going to get to share his story.
And his rendition of his encounter is actually now the cover of Josh Turner's new book, The Bigfoot Phenomenon. It's on sale on Amazon. But Tracker C is going to be at the conference. You'll see his rendition. No second N. Rendition.
On
that book. We haven't read that book, but the artwork is very important. It comes from an actual encounter. So
if you go to that convention, you get to hear it.
If you go to the convention, make sure you stop by and see.
Say hi to Charles.
Say hi to Charles, Tracker C, at the convention. He will be in the VIP section, so and on the panel, I believe. So we're very happy he's going to be doing that.
Great guy and a wonderful member of our team. Judy says, each pick a person and a personal sound. Yep.
Yeah, and pay attention, Judy. I know you got some children out there with you. Have them listen for whatever sound they hear when they first go out. See if it's the same one.
Oh, and you people with trampolines, kids on trampolines attracts a lot of attention from the Bigfoots. Be careful around those areas, and they will lay up underneath them in the shadows.
Especially at nighttime.
Yeah, CT's here. Hey, CT.
All right, CT.
She's driving but listening.
Oh, good. Henry saying, hello, Bob. Hello, CT from Henry.
More greetings.
Judy saying, hello to Tracker C. All right, more greetings. Jeremy Wilson is back. All right.
CT says, Desidrio, listening from Mexico. He watches your videos, Jerry, and is learning. Good.
Thank you, CT.
Scarborough says, yes, have seen video footage where the Bigfoot was moving real fast like a blur past a person. Yep.
Oh, yeah. I've seen a blur, and you can't even turn around and say, did y'all see that? Because it's just like that fast.
It also might look like flashes of light. It's not always just shadows or dark. Yeah. It may look like light.
Yeah, just twitch. CT just got to work. Okay, good. I'm glad you're on with us. Yeah, it worked.
More greetings.
Everybody saying hello. Hello, everyone.
Scarborough says, interesting take on the spider DNA. Yep.
Oh, yeah, it's in there.
And once you see that spider connection in them, you just see it when you look at them. You go, oh my gosh, that's where the no neck. That's where
the no neck, the extra pinners, the jointed,
the way that they move, the way that they set up their layers, the way that they set up their traps, the way that they spiral out and spoke out, and spiral around just like the webs, the way they use the spider webs. But yeah, you just can't unsee it once you get that connection. Hey, Tracker B's here.
Tracker
Bernice.
B's here. CT says she's got to do some little bit of work.
CT's always a little bit of working. CT never gets a break.
Kind of explains her hair, Jeremy Wilson.
More
Everybody's-
greetings, more greetings.
Everybody saying hello. Oh, hold on.
Uh-oh, it skipped ahead a whole bunch. I saw Ghost Star Dancer enter the room somewhere. Hold on. Oh,
Give us-
JR's in there. Hold on. we gotta back up. It jumped ahead.
It jumped on us real fast.
Oh, that's a new name too. Diesel in New Jersey. We're getting there, guys. Hold on. We gotta go back up. That
Can't be
far?
this far.
No way.
There we
Really?
go.
Okay.
There we go.
Spider DNA, some of the first DNA, Jeremy says. Yep,
Yep.
that's
You're
right.
right. And it's in them.
Scarborough says, once again, we are only Scarborough. Spider DNA, agree first, Judy says. Judy says, it's just incredible to hear about spiders' DNA. It is. Bob says, I am fortunate to be in the company of good people that are not disillusioned BFLs. BFLs is Bigfoot lovers.
Bigfoot lovers.
Judy says, cosmic spiders. That says so much. Yep.
There you go.
Pure energy spider. It's disgusting. And the arachnid, when you look back on that in history, it all makes so much more sense. And even the Bible, the different things that we'll see. Jeremy says there are spiders in the Amazon that grow to like a foot or around 12 inches. They're much bigger. When he first saw his first Bigfoot, he was actually tracking a 5-foot spider.
Yeah.
The Vietnam War, they've had a lot of sightings of the 5-foot spiders. Tracker C says it only takes a second. That is true.
That's how fast they are.
Jeremy says, have heard of some bigger in the Congo. Yep.
Yeah,
In America.
There's bigger ones here.
Yep. Scarborough says, Jerry and Ella have been studying the spider predator DNA. People have yet to understand what is present in the woods. Yep.
Oh, I know. They just don't know what.
Yep.
There's a human-looking spider hunting people.
It's disgusting. And that's what, that's how they can live underground like they do too. Jeremy says, I recently heard of a squatch this guy calls a tree organ, sucks fluid out of the tree and turns the color of the tree.
I can see that. I mean, all trees give some kind of sustenance.
Yeah. And people will even say something about they don't believe Bigfoot mimics, but a crow can mimic. And a bird can mimic, and they don't have nearly the setup. Judy says no need to ridicule. We agree. Appalachian Bigfoot research, I think Jeremy said. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that was you that mentioned that to us the other day or someone else, but we did. Yeah, we got to look into that. I'm glad you brought it up. Appalachian cryptid encounters. Okay. Keep going. Scarborough says most folks will only accept the physical form of Patty like Bigfoot. Anything else is dismissed outright as woo. Yeah, that's why we're probably always going to be a fringe channel. But, oh well, Jesus was fringe.
Yeah.
Darcy says Jeremy says large images. Darcy says they are blind if they can't see. That's a trap with that puppy. Yeah.
Oh, I know
Yeah,
it.
she was just, yeah. Jeremy says can't stand to see so-called grown-ups ridicule others. It's infuriating.
It is.
It
I mean,
is.
they should be grown by now.
It is. Darcy says, me too, Jeremy. Henry says it's an ego thing with some other shows. Yeah. Harper says, what I've noticed in the last year is so many researchers are dying with cancer. It just seems like so many get sick nowadays. I wonder if it falls under mind speak. Well, we wonder about some questionable circumstances too.
Yeah, especially with the research
Sure
of certain
do.
people.
Sure do. May all truth come to light. Tracker C says, Harper, how about infrasound? Yep. Diesel in New Jersey says,
Diesel in New
salute. Hey, Diesel, how you
Jersey.
doing? Glad you're here. Darcy says, maybe these creatures are radioactive and cause the sickness. I know that sounds crazy. What doesn't, what, it all sounds
And they
crazy because
also-
it is.
Also, some of their hair is magnetic, so you got a magnetic field with
Yeah.
big creatures.
Could be. Yep. And make people feel sick. Jeremy says mind speak or microwaves messes with DNA.
Any kind of frequency does.
You know, even prayer can mess with it.
Mhm.
With thoughts, word forms. Oseo, Diesel says Oseo, Halito. Harper says, yeah, Tracker C, I'm just an old Cherokee man that's had no one to teach me, but I think it's infrasound. Found out today, Mark SS by Florida, been fighting cancer, Bigfoot Odyssey. Well,
Oh, wow.
So y'all keep him in your prayers.
Yeah, we was wanting to talk with him for a while, but just can't get through to him. And then we heard that he's not talking to anybody, so that's all we can do for right now.
Yeah. Tracker C says infrasound caused me to pass out during my encounter in 1974. Y'all want to hear more about that? Go to that conference.
Yeah,
and it will also be live streamed, parts of it. So just check online. You'll be able to find that, or go to Josh Turner's channel.
And I believe that's Paranormal Roundtable that's going to be airing that.
Yeah. Tracker C says old Cherokee man myself. Scarborough says Diesel, New Jersey. Hello. Diesel says, I've been in the woods hundreds of times, never had anything bad happen to where I was scared. Good. We hope to keep it that way. Things are amping up, Diesel, and the stories of the people that had it not go so well are being actively squashed and hidden, and people are being threatened to say that attacks are bears, that sightings are bears or other different things. There's a lot more attacks than people are aware of. Jeremy says, I think infrasound is a lower frequency, also messes with DNA. Scarborough says, Tracker C, yes, been blasted by infrasound, intense wolf howls. That was in probably California.
And when you look at the quality of the people here,
oh, great people.
You know, we know everybody's telling the truth and everything.
Harper says, look at all the people that were truly out there that's died. Yeah. All
the ones.
A lot. And all the ones, and I'll tell you something else. The ones that are talking about them being predatory.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the BFLs that are being called home.
Humans are the monsters. We destroy everything. These things are the monsters.
Yeah, we don't. Some humans destroy things, and then we go into the human predators. But the people here aren't monsters. We're not monsters.
No.
Tracker C says, just wait. It can happen without a moment's notice, Diesel.
Yeah, you're right.
Diesel says, I'm more scared of people than the forest beings.
No.
Be cautious of both. Diesel.
Be cautious of both, but
be cautious of both. It doesn't have to be an either or thing. They're still predators.
A man will not rip you apart with his teeth and claws and drink the blood and eat the flesh while you're still screaming. So
well, not as many of them, but
yeah.
Ghost Star Dancer. Hey, Ghost.
Ghost Star Dancer.
Scarborough says, Diesel in New Jersey. Yes, good to always be aware of your surroundings, for sure. More greetings. Scarborough says, shared my own images of the Bigfoot disguised or camouflaged by trees. People still don't get it. It's real. Yeah.
That's right. It's real. It's real. It's real.
Diesel says, I just posted a 30-second video of a Bigfoot laying down and I zoomed the cam straight on it. Awesome.
Hey, good.
Diesel says, clear as day. Good. And hopefully people don't mock you for that, Diesel, and that they'll accept it for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Harper says, just enough to break the outline. Scarborough says, believe there may be more hybrid Bigfoot these days and nights. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Scarborough says, Diesel in New Jersey. We'll check later tonight. Have not been getting your notifications of late. Is that the name
Yeah.
of your channel, Diesel?
Diesel in New Jersey. We didn't even know you had one. We'll
Yeah,
subscribe
we'll
to
check
that.
it out. Oh, he says I'm shadow banned big time, Scarborough. Yeah, we get it.
Oh, well, then you're in great company.
Scarborough says, same here, Diesel, big time shadow banned.
That's two.
Yeah.
That's two. See, everybody here on this channel.
So
say-
while we're on that topic, everybody hit like and subscribe and set your notifications and all that.
to everybody's.
Ghost says the fairy tale stories are so telling. They absolutely
They sure are.
No coincidence. We agree.
That's right.
Diesel says, what happened to make you fear Bigfoot so bad? We know too many people and too many episodes. We've seen too much. We've heard too much. We've researched too much.
Who's got fear of them?
Yeah, it's not fear, but
We don't fear Bigfoot.
we're teaching people not to fear, but to be prepared for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're prepared.
Harper says, you get in that ravine, you just gave them the high ground.
Sure
There's
did.
definite ambush spots.
Yeah. You're in that ravine.
I don't know if you were in here, Diesel, when I was talking a little while ago about the friend of mine who a Bigfoot tried to snatch out of the bathtub when he was, I can never remember if he was 7 or 9. Maybe that's because he couldn't remember. But the Bigfoot literally reached its arm in the window and tried to snatch him out of the bathtub. Just that one episode is enough to be wary. But there's been many, many, many more. The scars we've seen, we know of attacks, we know of the cover-ups. We've got a lot of good reasons. Scarborough says, recall several years ago upon researches finding large tree arches, superstition not to cross under, same as a ladder, danger. Yes, yeah, we don't go under them either.
Danger, danger. That's a trap waiting.
Yeah, and some of them lined up can also become portals. Jeremy says, I see them in there. Scarborough says, yes, X is danger, do not enter. Henry says, hey, Desiderio, how do you say Bigfoot in Spanish? It's El Patón is El Patón.
Well, I mean, there's other
That's
words
what-
like Pate Grande and.
Oh, okay.
But
Jose and Tanya coined the phrase El Patón, so that's what we use in Spanish. Ghost says the nail marks in the mud are huge. Yes. Scarborough says good walking wolf print. Sure was.
oh yeah.
Scarborough says finally aquatic hybrid water spirits Bigfoot. These types are head scratchers for folks to understand. Yep. All these things that people think are opposite, they're all connected. JR says got here late. Hey JR.
JR.
I see some postings about cancer. Roger Patterson passed on from cancer only a few years after filming Patty. He made many plaster casts of Bigfoot footprints. They might be radioactive. And in the UFOs and the radioactivity and the Bigfoots all go together too. Junior says, Henry, in Spanish, they're called El Patón and Pai Grande. That I know of. Yep.
Yeah.
You're right, Junior.
Or Pate Grande.
Pate Grande. Keep going. JR says at JR X-Files. Ghost says, I watched a 12-inch orb go into a tree about a week ago. Wow, what color, JR?
Yeah.
Scarborough says, anyone viewed the shorts video where the large pine trees were swaying against each other like they were fighting and moving several feet away? No, I haven't seen that one. We have seen many on the walking trees, though, and it's pretty fascinating. Henry says, the horses, have they been fed on or just killed? Both?
Down to the bone.
Both.
Bones were picked clean.
Henry says, great pick. Jeremy says, Mr. Scarborough, I haven't seen it. Scarborough says, 5 years ago this August, I watched a large basketball-sized blue orb hovering 6 feet above the ground. My sister and I saw one that was like the size of a beach ball when we were kids, and it came floating down. We were in half of y'all have heard this story before, but it came from busy city, St. Paul, Minnesota, floating down out of the sky towards us. It was about the time Wizard of Oz had been out, and I thought it was Glinda the Good Witch coming in the big bubble. Neither one of us can remember where it went or what happened after it got about just a few feet from us. We don't remember anything after that memory as far as that day, that event. Ghost says, darn, that's cold-blooded. Darcy says they camouflage so well. Yes, they do. Scarborough says the other photo had half dozen Bigfoot, including a couple young juveniles with adults. Yeah, almost every photo we show has more than one in it. We usually focus on the main one, but there's others. Scarborough says, Jeremy Wilson, thanks. We'll soon try to share the video with a link in the next few days. Good, Scarborough. And tell you, lady, we said hi, by the way. Jeremy says, thanks, Mr. Scarborough. Jeremy says, I don't spell as good as I used to. Darcy says, that's terrifying. Tracker C says, the spider squatch pic almost looks like the Bigfoot of my encounter. Cool. Promise wasn't looking at it, but I hate that you had to see it. Darcy says, but the red eyes and the orange eyes comes up a lot, Charles. Those are the most aggressive.
Yeah.
Darcy says, that's what I thought, Tracker C.
Yeah.
We're trying to pull out more of the spider look in it also. Ghost says, Tracker C, did you know it was a Bigfoot when you saw it? At that moment, yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. But he didn't know of Bigfoot.
No.
Didn't he say he didn't? He was completely unprepared. Just quite shocking to him. Jeremy says, evil doesn't relent, and neither should we. That's absolutely right. The Bible says,
and we don't.
Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. It doesn't say run and hide or cover up your head in the sand.
And we shouldn't say we
resist.
Should. We should.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I was looking for that.
Tracker C says when it's only about 4 to 5 feet behind you, yes, you know that was a Bigfoot, even if you never seen one. And that was in 1974. Yeah.
James 4:7 is submit to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Ghost says, I hear that.
Darcy said, that's right, Jeremy.
Tracker C says 12 to 13 foot tall. Y'all imagine that. That's taller than your ceiling. Half again as tall as to your ceiling.
And then again, this group, this channel, there's people in the comments, our trackers has seen these things. We got trackers that's killed these things. We got trackers that tracks these things. They're everywhere, really.
Yeah, first-hand knowledge here. Ghost says they're so good at what they do as predators. They are.
They are.
They've had a lot of experience. And when people think it might be your first Bigfoot to see, but you are not the first human that Bigfoot has seen.
And that may be your first camping area, but that's not that Bigfoot's first camping area.
Yeah.
We give them
people at that area.
And we give them more credit, but we actually tell them how to capture us.
Yeah.
You know, we let them know that our child is going to be running around while we go look for firewood or, things like that.
Ghost says, I saw a huge one here on my property.
Oh.
It purposely let me see it 2 different times. Yeah, that's not good. Ghost says, pure black, at least 12 foot tall. They come through here often. I'm sure they hang around at night.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to order both the book and the DVD. Good, Ghost.
Good, Ghost. Start answering.
It sounds like you need them. Harper says, so much good info. Thank you, Harper.
Oh, thank you, Harper.
You're always very encouraging. Scarborough says, Tracker C, 9 feet tall and black color was following me on a public trail. Lucky to spin around quickly and got a good glimpse. Several years later, a lady went missing from the same trail in BC. And that's how they'll do. They'll take one from here, and then they'll take one a few towns away from over there, and then, they'll circle back a year or 2 later and get another one. And so people just don't, they're not paying attention. They don't notice it happens incrementally, just the way they build their blinds and traps. Jeremy says, have y'all heard of them using mud and quartz as camo? Well, not the quartz in particular.
Not the quartz, but definitely mud and
sticks and grass and just whatever's around.
Stickers,
but
twigs.
The quartz, that's interesting. And some have been called stone people or rock people. Interesting.
Yeah.
Private account. Hey, private
account. How you doing?
Says, first time here. I'm impressed how much I've learned. You are great teachers. Thank you, private account.
Thank you, private account.
We appreciate that very much, and we hope you come back and please feel free to share, and we hope you subscribe. Let other people know about the channel, because we're shadow banned too. We
Yeah.
do try to be a meaty channel. Linda says, Jerry and Ella, great accurate information on the different predators of the children.
Oh,
Thank you, Linda. We
Linda.
appreciate that.
Okay, with a check mark.
Judy says, hi, Linda. Yes, great amount of information. Thank you, Judy.
Thank you, Judy.
Scarborough says, Tracker C, good luck at the Dogman convention in
Yay!
Texas.
All right.
And he's going to get to roommate with Nick Redfern, who wrote a...
Oh, I'll be right back.
Yeah, he's going to go grab the book. We have the book. I haven't read it yet. I've had it for a couple years and forgot about it really until Tracker C said that his roommate at the conference will be Nick Redfern. But I'd listened to Nick Redfern on an interview a couple years ago about this book. I think it's called Paranormal Parasites. And anyway, I'm excited for Charles. I think that'll be I think each of them should be honored to have the other as a roommate. And they'll probably learn a whole lot from each other. So I'm excited to hear how that goes. You find it? Okay, you keep reading.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay. It was called Paranormal Parasites. I know where it is. I can go and grab it. I know where it is. I just remembered.
Okay.
Keep reading.
Yeah. Yeah, good luck at the conference. Lee Tracker is going to go get that book. I believe he's got quite a few short novels or short books, but that will be an interesting roommate with all of Tracker C's information and knowledge about the Bigfoot. It will be that would be an interesting conversation to have. Linda from Texas says, hi, Judy. The information was right on. We're right on it. So many that are after our children all over the world. They sure are. She said, Linda. Judy says, Linda back. Caroline Cherry. Hey, great to see you here. She says, answer to your question, Ella. The sub was pure white. Oh, the orb was pure white. Oh, that was the question or the answer.
Okay, pure white.
Usually we see a whole bunch of blue and green.
Yeah, green. I've seen pink. There's the book. That's a Nick Redfern book. Gonna read it now. Have always meant to. It's just one of, we're busy.
That's by Nick Redfern.
So that will be Tracker C's roommate, and we hope that goes well. Can't wait to hear all about it.
Scarborough says, thanks, Jerry and Ella. You're welcome, Scarborough.
Very welcome.
And thank
Judy
you
says,
also.
Thank you, Jerry and Ella. Scarborough says, thank you, friends, for the great chat tonight with amazing info shared. You're very welcome.
Very welcome.
Thanks, Scarborough. Oh, where'd that go? Carolyn Cherry. Hi, Carolyn. Says, when and where is the conference in Texas? It's Labor Day weekend, and so that's coming. It's this coming weekend.
Yeah, in just like 3 days.
Yeah, and it's in
Saturday
Dallas somewhere. Tracker. Yeah, go check out the Paranormal Roundtable channel after this one, and the information should be on there.
And that's with Josh.
And there's not very many. He's the only one doing a Dogman conference, so it should be fairly easy to find with a search. Okay, here we go. Go on.
Texas.
Thank you, Scarborough. Carolyn says, okay. Carolyn Cherry says, I am Ghost Star Dancer. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay. An alias.
Uh-oh. Two on here.
Tracker C says, thanks all. I'll do my best. Diesel says, appreciate the invite. Salute.
Insight.
Keep going.
All right. Had to change
device. Had to change devices. Now we know your secret identity.
Yeah.
Jeremy says, the other night I was walking around the property and heard an owl call on one side and one on the other side. I don't believe they were owls, right?
They weren't owls.
Yeah, I was I remember taking a walk one time in a really active area, and I thought the owls followed me for a full mile. I just didn't know any better at the time.
M?
AM
Is that RM?
says, oh, where'd he go? Great information. Everyone needs to listen closely. Jerry and Ella are in the field daily and for weeks at a time. True boots on the ground experience. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we're out in the field more than we are here, really, it seems like.
Scott says, great teaching tonight. Thank you. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Scott. And that conference
Means
is
a
in
lot coming
Fort
from
Worth,
you.
Texas.
In Fort Worth. Okay,
Not
thank
Dallas.
you,
It's in
Tracker
Fort Worth.
Yeah. Darcy says they were not Jeremy. Have had that done to me in the middle of the day. Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Good, Darcy.
Yep. I'll be sending you a short letter via P.O. box. Okay, good.
All
good.
right.
We're looking forward to it.
That's so cool.
Diesel says, ever take something from the woods and feel the need to return it? Oh, yes. Yes, I did one time. Actually, I was being groomed by them, and I would collect the bones. They knew that I would collect the bones, and I thought I was just, I was making all the mistakes, doing everything that the bad researchers tell people to do. And I found a skunk skull one time. We've shown the picture on other videos, but it was in an elaborate bunch of huts around in structures, and one of them had a shelf made basically in the corner out of the intertwined branches, and the skunk skull was just displayed so beautifully on it. And I thought, oh yeah, they gave me a little gift because they know that I collect those just because I'm studying. I want to see the bite marks and what their prey is. It was all about the Bigfoot, but I collected every bone I found. And what?
I said she did.
And, oh yeah, anyway, so I took it home, and I made these. This was back when I still thought they were the friendly forest giants. And I made two little I made a mother and a baby Bigfoot dolls with googly eyes, and I took it back, and it was going to be my gift for the Bigfoot that had given me the skunk skull. Well, when I went back, I don't remember if it was a day, 3 days later, whatever. I went back, first opportunity, and the way I'd had them woven into the shelf, I put them on the shelf where the skunk skull was, and I wove in the two figures together so that they couldn't just be knocked out by a bird or a squirrel or something like that. They had to actually be removed with fingers. And when I got back, the baby was still on the shelf, the baby Bigfoot, and the big one was laying down on the ground with its eyes plucked off and smashed. And the whole sense of the area it just felt very aggressive. I picked up the little dolls and the googly eyes, and I took them back home, and I got the skunk skull, and I came and I put it right back on that shelf, and I prayer walked that was the end of me going to that particular section. I prayer walked the whole thing, and there's a lot of other weird things that had happened there. And then later on, those same Bigfoot were also creating traps for my grandson right around his play area, traps and blinds. So yeah, it's a bad idea to try to establish any kind of. I was doing glyphs. I did do a little bit of feeding, but not much, and just other methods of trying to communicate with them, and none of it went well. It all leads to a bad place.
But we have taken a couple things also.
Yeah.
Not any need to return it, but this is actually a club.
If you could feel this,
you would feel how balanced it is.
It's amazing.
And this will put a hole in anything. And it was chipped with a fingernail or a claw to make this pointed and sharp.
And it's sharpened on these edges.
And sharpened right here.
And we found these in different sizes as well.
Yep, some in Oklahoma, some in Texas.
We've got eyewitnesses. They talked a little while ago about a 12-foot solid black Bigfoot. That's the way the one was described too, that was standing with a club swinging. Mm-hmm. It's 5-10 minutes down the road from us, where we got the Bigfoot in the hoodie. They're infested with the Bigfoots. Mm-hmm. so much so they're afraid to even do anything about it. But anyway, that's the way they described that one. It was standing, it threw a rock at their pit bull, ran it off, and then when the guy turned around to look, there was a 12-foot Bigfoot standing there swinging a club and doing the Bigfoot sway. Judy says, same here about the owls. Yep. I'm glad y'all are paying attention. Ghost is laughing, says they're transparent.
She says she's transparent.
She's transparent. Darcy says Carolyn at conference is in White Settlement, Texas by Fort Worth. So you should be able to avoid the worst traffic.
White Settlement, Texas by Fort Worth. That's this weekend, the Dogman Conference.
Ghost says, I'm seriously going to try to go to the conference. Cool.
Hey,
cool.
it'll be something. You get to meet
Hope
Charles.
you get to meet Charles. Tracker sees. Oh, where did we go?
Carolyn says, thanks, Darcy. Jeremy says, thank you, Darcy. Darcy says, you're welcome.
Tracker C says the conference will be live streamed on Josh Turner's YouTube channel, Paranormal Roundtable, beginning September 2nd. And I think he said maybe $7 or something.
Second and
There'll
third,
be
I
a
think.
price to help pay for it.
And I think it's a 2-day live stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, second and
It'll probably
third.
be worth it. If you can afford it, it'll be worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Carolyn says, Diesel in New Jersey. Yes, I picked stuff up and immediately dropped it. We also don't recommend picking up arrowheads and things like that. Those are they can have attachments in their weapons of death, and it's just not a good thing to pick up. Leave them alone.
Mm-hmm.
Linda says, thank you, Charles. I have the channel ready to view.
Hey, all right. Linda's already had.
Thanks, Tracker C from Carolyn. Harper says, I don't have anything for them but hot lead treatment. I've had an owl hooting constantly all day and even one time at night.
Oh,
Not even one time at night. Just hooting in the daytime. Glad you're paying attention.
good job.
Diesel's,
Get rid of that thing. Shoot
yeah.
it. Throw rocks at it, whatever. Get it out of there.
Diesel says, Carolyn, I found a rock bigger than my hand, like an inch thick plate, shape of the Bigfoot head silhouette from the side on 2/22/20. I returned it 2/22/22. Interesting.
Wow.
Oh yeah, we'd like to hear that story sometime, Diesel. Diesel says was the same size as the Indian thing I have above my desk, held right up to it, lines up exact. Wow, that's interesting.
Wow.
Okay, we're caught up on comments, and we're at
wow.
3 hours. So
Only 3 hours
only
tonight.
3 hours. So we'll go ahead and say a prayer. We're very glad for everyone that was here. A lot of people in the chat tonight. 29. There was 30 at one time.
And don't forget about the new book, Predator, Bigfoot, and the Spiritual Warrior's Path. Also, the Bigfoot documentary, Oklahoma Bigfoot Predator Watch, Antlers in Surrounding Areas. If you have that book, which a lot of people do need it, all these questions that we had tonight also are answered in that book. Have a lot of trackers here that can answer all these questions also. And once you have that book, you're gonna be amazed at watching some of these other channels, these Bigfoot channels. When you see what they're doing after you've read that book, you're gonna know that these people are getting other people or giving other people the wrong information that can get them hurt. And I'm sure it has in certain situations. We don't hear everything. But that book is out on pre-order right now. It comes out on the 3rd, and I believe the paperback will also. We're going to wait for that, but it should be out at the same time. So don't forget that book. If you can get it, it's very important that you have it. And then we can talk. Then we can understand each other. We can talk then. So let's get these last ones, and then we will have our prayer, and we will close for tonight, and we will be back again, especially Tuesday for the
morning tracker talks.
Tracker team meeting. We changed that from the morning tracker talks to the name Tracker Team Meeting, because that is a tracker team meeting there. And we don't like the word morning because it sounds more of a morning kind of thing.
M-O-U-R.
M-O. Yeah, so we've changed that. We don't want it to even get close to that. So now it's called the Tracker Team Meeting, and that will be Tuesday morning at 9:30 a.m.
Those meetings are for Patreon members only.
And that's every Tuesday and Friday, 9:30 a.m. That's before we go to the field and when we return. But we do appreciate your support also, and you can support the channel in any way that you would like. We would rather you support the channel by getting the new book or the Bigfoot documentary. But the new book, if you can get that, that helps us, get from point A to point B to where we need to go to continue with what we're doing and not have to worry if we can make it to a call or someone gives us a reason to go and help someone in a different area. That book is the description, I think, or the link is in the description. You can also find it on our YouTube page and our Facebook page if you go to our Facebook pages.
I think we had one or two up above. Charles, Tracker C says, time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
Ghost said this was great. Harper says, Lord bless you guys. You don't know what a blessing you are.
Oh, thank you, Harper.
Darcy says, good night, all. Stay safe, and I pray God's protection around us all and our families in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Darcy.
Jeremy says, good info shared tonight. Diesel, go back up. Diesel says, I just film the stuff. I don't talk all too much, mainly go over my own footage. We try not to talk out there much either. It's just not wise. We would rather do voiceovers too. If we do talk, it's only because we're pretty secure in the area, and
most of the time we're whispering
out. But yeah, we try to use hand signals.
Signals, really.
Mm-hmm. Jeremy says, good info shared tonight. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Darcy says, thank you, Jerry and Ella. You're a blessing. Thank you, Darcy. Tracker C says, with love, and watch your six, all. That's right.
That's right.
Jeremy says, thank you, Charles. Mr. L, if you're out there, we hope you're doing all right. Give us a holler. Edwin Hahn. Say hi to him.
Mr. B.
Mr. B.
Joe Blow.
Joe Blow.
SMA Mommy.
Yep.
Carla Hipkins.
Yep.
Cliff. Claudia. Yuda Jackson. And everybody else. So many. We don't want to. Sometimes you hate to call out names because you don't want to leave anybody out. And this was also Mr. Skiz Kutowitz, who gave us a message one time, and I hope you're still out there and you're still listening to us. Yeah, we hope you're out there.
Henry says, great job. Good night, all. Bernice says, awesome show. Good night, everyone.
Yeah.
And so let's say our prayer real quick. Father, thank you for the blessing of even being able to be here. Thank you for the eyes and ears that were open. Thank you for the protection for everyone. We pray you're covering over Tracker C as he goes to this conference, and that he'll be able to share everything that you need him to share, and that he will make lots of new friends and great connections to help him along this journey that you put him on, Lord. We thank you and we love you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Have a good night.
All right.
That time went fast.
Have a good night, Warriors. We'll be back for Tracker Team meeting on Tuesday morning. We don't know when our next stream will be up on more information, but we will get it up as soon as possible.
We'll come up with something.
Make sure you have your likes and your subscribes down so that you do get the notifications. And we will see y'all very, very soon.
Yeah, share this channel and look out for the predators.
I don't think we're tracking this weekend, so we probably will have a stream this weekend too.
Okay.
So everyone have a good night. We will see y'all soon. And good night, Warriors.
Love you.
Love y'all.